Hey guys, this is Alex of the Skeleton Crew. Just wanted to let you know this show will be heavily edited and chopped up. All the goodies had to be taken out because YouTube always hits us with the copyright. So if you want to hear the full version of the show, just click the link in the description. If you want to hear all the shows that way, I really suggest you go there. YouTube is only to kind of get the word out. But if you want to hear our shows unedited, all the cool stuff in between the segments and all that, click the link below. Subscribe to us on iTunes. There's a lot of ways to listen to the show. So, yeah, have fun. Scream 4, full review, and lots of stuff before we even get to that. Alright guys, we are back. This is the Scream retrospective. This is the end of it. This is show number 82 with the Skeleton Crew. And the funny thing is this. Show number 81 was Scream 2 review, and show number 82 is Scream 4. And you're probably wondering, how does that happen? Well, we don't really number our commentaries, and we did a commentary from hell called Scream 3.
Yeah, we won't talk about that anymore.
But, you know, before we get into that, we have a special guest on the show. I'm always joined by Dan and Jamie, but today we have Duncan McLeish from Podcast Under the Stairs. What is up, brother?
How's it going, boneheads?
What's up, man? Thanks for coming on, bro.
Oh, man, it's my absolute fucking pleasure. I am totally honoured to be on the Skeleton Crew. You guys, I've spoken to you before on my show. One of the reasons that I do the show that I have, total inspiration, and I think a small part of me is going to die when you guys give up the show after episode. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I may have to play tag with a bus. I'm just putting that out
there. Thanks, man. You know, I gotta ask you, you call your show Podcast Under the Stairs. Are you just a really huge fan of People Under the Stairs, or did you just mesh a podcast name with a horror movie?
Now Pretty he much. Actually is under the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, he's literally doing it from under the stairs. Oh.
Pretty much. Your co-host, Jamie Jenkins, the lovely Jamie Jenkins, is partially responsible. I think I must have sent you about 10 names, I think, all variations on horror films with podcasting set into it. For whatever reason, Podcast Under the Stairs sounded just
I was just tired at that point and said, yeah, dude, whatever, go with that.
just go with that one. I do love that film. I do. I've got a lot of time for the podcast.
She was tired of rejecting the names.
Just like whatever. No, I do have a lot of time for the film. I think it's it's an absurd film, but I think it's one of those ones that when people talk about Wes Craven, like we're going to be doing later on, I think it's one of these films that people just kind of dismiss. And there's a lot actually going on in it. Yeah, it is pretty fucking goofy, and in some parts it's completely ridiculous. You won't see many films where there's a guy running along in a gimp suit with a fucking shotgun blowing holes in a wall. That doesn't. Well, maybe in Glasgow you see that on a Saturday night, but in any street in Glasgow. But you won't see that, on film, and for whatever reason it just kind of works. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it was a lot better than Texas Chainsaw Podcast. So.
That one was taken, I think.
Oh, okay.
I love the name, dude. I when I first heard the name, I was like, wow, that's fucking great, dude. I didn't know Jamie Jenkins was involved. I mean, everything fucking Jamie touches is the goal.
Don't you know by now?
I should.
Jamie Jenkins is basically a Rosetta Stone for all podcasts. She's a Rosetta Stone of modern podcasting. Everything ties to her. She's the code, for everything.
You should have called it Scottish Podcast in London. Oh. Wait, an American Werewolf in... Wait, what's it called? In Paris. Wait, that's fucking...
A Scottish Podcast in London, except he's not in London. He's in Scotland, so...
Hey, leave me alone. I'm trying to come up with these things that, How about House of 1,000 Podcasts?
See,
that's my house.
Yeah, it's Jamie's house.
Yeah, but
have you done 1,000 podcasts? You think?
I was gonna say, who does 1,000 podcasts? And I was like, oh wait,
she's here.
Close to it, No, I have no idea. I have not ever put them. I keep thinking I'm gonna put on my website. I'm gonna put links to all the stuff that I've done, including guest spots. But
yeah,
that's a daunting task that I don't really want to undertake. But No, obviously not that many, but.
Well, see, one cool thing Duncan did. Now, this is, we'll talk about something a little relevant here. I don't know how to say. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Oderus Urungus.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. Duncan interviewed him. When did you do that? 2000 what?
That was last year, 2013. Because I also write and do some stuff and podcast for a music and movie website called Rock and Real Reviews, and
back alleys and shit.
Yeah, interview musicians in back alleys, pretty much. Which isn't as glamorous as it seems.
Yeah, right.
He's gonna show them the footage to get back in.
Honestly, man. Their new album came out last year, which was called Battle Maximus, and we got invited to do a Skype interview with them. It was all kind of last minute. I had maybe like about half an hour's notice. Kind of rushed home from work, got my stuff set up, and it could have easily been a train wreck. But I can't stress enough how fucking nice that guy was, and obviously it's kind of hit me a wee bit. We were kind of talking about this just before we recorded. It's kind of hit me a wee bit stronger than general kind of. Yeah. I mean, musicians in general, musicians and actors, especially if they're involved with genres that you're quite passionate about, when they pass on, a party feels like connected in some way. And like you've mentioned on a previous show, there's a lot of people that jump on that who maybe do it kind of disingenuously, but in terms of actual. If I had never spoken to this guy, I probably wouldn't have given it a second thought when I read the news story that he passed away. But because I had spoken to him and because he was complete professional, even though he was in character for the whole interview, which was a wee bit weird. I actually, part of me thought he might even be wearing the costume. Even though he was sitting at home, I just had this image of him constantly wearing the costume. But he never broke character once. He gave me probably the most entertaining interview that I've ever done, and I've done loads now with loads of various musicians from big established bands to kind of smaller bands that are kind of touring the indie scene and whatnot. But he was such a nice guy. And I mean, kind of really, really kind of hit me quite hard. I wasn't expecting it to as much, but like the day after I found out, I was just kind of sitting there going, I was speaking to this guy a couple of months ago, and now he's not on the earth anymore, which is really kind of weird. It's that kind of surreal feeling. And I'm not even kind of sentimental, and this sounds terrible, and also kind of makes me out to be like a bit of a cold-hearted bastard, but I don't experience grief like a lot of people do. You know what I mean? I'm kind of detached from a lot of things, but for whatever reason that got to me, and the following day I was just sitting there going, this is fucking shit.
Yeah. It got to me too, man. You know how though? Like, I can't claim to be a huge fan. I'm not gonna, pull a Harold Ramis and act like, Gwar was my life.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the one thing did occur to me. I think, because one time, Miguel Nunez, the guy who plays,
Demon
in Friday the 13th Part 5, when I talked to him, I said, I know you have a huge career and you must kind of be tired of people like me who come up to you and talk about, Friday 5 and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, nah, man, you know what? Everybody touches other people in some ways. Like, some people just might know him from Juana Man, and that's how it is for them. And some people, like, it's always different, and it is what it is, and he don't care about that. And for me, like, Oderus is strictly Holliston. Like,
yeah.
That's probably a billion other people, So the thing that hit me about it, and I fell into this crazy, like, sadness, and it lasted like 5 straight minutes, and it was like, I just pictured Adam Green walking into his bedroom and Oderus not being there anymore. Yeah. And it was just like the weirdest feeling, and it was just so sad, because I kind of feel chummy with him when he's up there talking to him, and it's
strange? I mean, because the only reason I know about Holliston is from listening to your show, and you guys spoke about it, especially with your Adam Green interview, and I was like, by the way, which was a fantastic fucking interview.
Thanks.
And I was listening to that, I was like, I need to check out this show, and there's no legal means to watch Holliston in the UK, so I'm not owning up to using illegal means on air. but I may have found a USB stick lying somewhere that just happened to have all the episodes on it. And, you know, I sat and I watched them all, and it's a really fucking good show. And Oderus's part in it, I mean, that kind of caught me a bit by surprise when he appeared on the screen. I was like, holy shit, they've got fucking Oderus Urungus from Gwar on their fucking show. How cool is that? And I mean, they've got Dee Snider, and Dee Snider's obviously in the bigger band and whatnot, but just seeing that, and I was like, that's such a fucking cool thing, because Oderus was a massive horror fan, supported the horror community, and it was really cool that he was getting, you know, I mean, there'll be a lot of people that watch Holliston that might not even know who Gwar are, and the fact that he put, you know, that on the screen, and they did it in such a really kind of cool comedic way, you know, that he's his like imaginary friend in his cupboard and whatnot. And that to me just, it works. And I thought, especially when I started reading the post from Adam Green after it happened, I was like, you could tell it, it was really kind of heartbreaking, because he's obviously really, really close to the guy. And I mean, when I interviewed Oderus, I asked him at the end, and I purely flung the question in because I knew what the show was, and I'd asked him about Holliston, and he basically said that, you know, he'd loved doing it. He was campaigning for a season 3, and the only way that would ever happen is if people got behind the show and watched it, you know, really kind of promoted it. And now to think that even if that does go ahead with a season 3, he won't be in it, it's kind of fucking surreal.
It is. Yep. Yeah, man, I got into Gwar, like, I remember seeing an episode of fucking Bam Margera's show where Gwar was on there. Oh,
yeah.
Remember that, dude? And his personality was so funny when he got into bed with fucking Bam's parents, and he's like, I'm scared. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? So I ended up going to a Gwar concert, maybe like, shortly after, came home covered in fake blood, because their fucking shows are out of this fucking world, dude. And I was like, that was dude, if you listen to their music too, it's the most ridiculous, like, crazy shit ever. Like,
is it good?
It's good in like a, I would, well, I don't want to put it in terms like that, but like a scary movie, like a spoof, but not really, like it's good. You know what I mean?
So is it like horror movie fan music?
I mean, it's crazy shit, dude. It's just, you gotta listen to it to understand.
It's like thrash metal, isn't it? It's like thrash metal, but with ridiculous fucking lyrics. But it's like not the greatest thrash you'll ever hear. It's not on the levels of like a Slayer or a Metallica or an Anthrax or anything like that. But it's like really, really fast, crazy music, and then you've got all the guys playing aliens, and you've got Oderus walking around with a giant fucking fake cock, which basically during the show sprays out fake semen all over the crowd. And they always, wherever they play, they always bring it. In my country, they brought out the Queen. So they brought out the Queen in the middle of the set, and they chopped their head off. So whatever country they play in, they find someone who's important in the country, so, you know, like a famous political figure or that, and they decapitate them on stage, and then the blood just goes fucking everywhere. And it's so much. It's like there's no one that does it like Gwar, and like I mean, Dan will tell you, it's really weird to describe because it sounds goofy, but when you're there, even if you're not a fan of the band, you just get caught up in it.
Exactly, dude, exactly. And I saw him in like it was like a gymnasium, dude. It was weird. It was like dude, seriously, because it was one of those tours where it was like, you know, bands that, you know, they're not that big and they're not playing stadiums, so they're smaller and they're not clubs, so, you know, sometimes you gotta fucking do it in a basketball gym, you know? But, I saw them, and even then, I wasn't like a huge Gwar fan. I didn't go because I was like, there were other bands that I saw. I was like, oh, Gwar's awesome. They're that crazy band or whatever. So I saw them, I liked them or whatever, and then I heard it was on Holliston, and that was the icing on the cake for me. I was like, oh, this is awesome, dude. Oderus is there, and I think everybody can agree that when Oderus was first on there, dude, he's a great fucking addition. Now that he's died, it takes on a whole other fucking thing, but as a part of that show, he's fucking great. His personality and the way Adam interacts with him, it's fucking hilarious.
And his bad advice and shit. Dude, you know what I love, man? Like, when I was a kid, the only way I knew about Gwar was, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a Beavis and Butthead, like, video game for Sega and probably all the other ones. And you had to collect tickets that, the dog ate and threw up or some shit, or maybe the guy went over it with a lawnmower or something, and they were Gwar tickets. And you had to collect them all throughout the game, and then you eventually get to see Gwar.
Yeah.
And it was like, Gwar, Gwar, Gwar. And that's all I knew about them, dude.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And I think I remember Beavis and Butthead, like, you know, reviewing one of their videos also. Like,
oh, yeah, they used to play them all the time.
Yeah, that's the only interaction I ever had. What is Gwar's music like just as bad as Kiss, and they're just known because of the makeup, and they're known because of the costumes? Is that how that works?
Kiss are probably better at writing a song. I mean, at least Kiss songs will get stuck in your head afterwards, and there's a chance you'll sing a lot of them. Gwar songs and they had a couple of really good kind of melodic songs that you could. There was a tune there that you could maybe remember afterwards. Most of what they do is pretty fucking absurd.
It's heavy metal too, man. It's fucking, you know, it's fucking nuts.
Well, Duncan, can you give us the best Gwar song or something, and then we'll play it in between this and the Scream review? The bumper has been removed from the YouTube broadcast. To hear the show in its entirety, click the link in the show's description box below.
What I would say is that if anyone hasn't checked him out in a while, see their whole last album, see Battle Maximus. Is fucking awesome. It's like really, it's easily the best thing they put out in a decade. And that's another reason why it's kind of like, it's a wee bit upsetting, because to me they were just hitting their stride. And the fact that recently in interviews and stuff like that, he'd said, David Brockie's the guy that plays Oderus, and he'd said that, you know, one of the guys had died last year in the band.
Right,
so they replaced him.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. And
so there's no more existing original members then?
I think he was the only. I think, to be honest with you, I think even that guitarist wasn't an original member. I think David Brockie was. It's kind of like Guns N' Roses with Axl Rose. You know what I mean? I think David Brockie is basically, he was Gwar towards the end,
right?
And that's why. I mean, there won't be any more Gwar stuff now that he's gone. They just can't.
Really?
Yeah. There's no way. I don't think fans would appreciate it, because David Brockie had been in the band from the start. So, but he said in interviews and things like that, obviously the death of one of the guys in the band, and I think it was possibly drug related, and I think what will probably come out is that Oderus's death is drug related. Yeah, I think there's been statements by the police saying that they'd found some like drug taking paraphernalia and stuff in his house. So I mean, I think that's it takes a bit of time for them to do toxicology and whatnot, but
it takes 6 weeks. Yeah.
Did he throw up at his last concert at the end when he gave his rating of the concert?
What an asshole would do that.
That's my new ringtone, by the way.
Oh, fucking hell.
Dan gives a Scream 3 rating with an intro of throw. And I love how he pronounces it. He's like, yes, that was actually me throwing up. That was my actual vomit you heard. You know,
is this on the last episode?
The commentary.
Dude,
I've not watched it. Oh, I can't fucking wait till. Oh,
no, Duncan, no.
After this. No, it has to be watched.
See, this is what I didn't want. I knew if we brought attention to this piece of shit show, everybody would be like, dude, I gotta hear this now. Dude, I don't even remember it, dude, and I can't bring myself to listen to it. I'm so scared, because I literally, remember me and Jamie saying...
ridiculously long.
Oh man, Jamie saying don't do it just makes me want to do it even more.
It's really bad. Like, I recommend anybody who didn't want to, you probably watched it already if you're listening to this, but here's the thing. If you didn't, if somehow you made it to this one first, just watch it in two separate, I can't even imagine asking anyone to sit through 2 hours of that. I would really recommend half-hour increments, or if anything, 1 hour at a time.
I did it straight twice in one fucking week. When we actually recorded it, and then when it came out, I watched the whole thing. Actually, and then there was another, because I started watching it at work that day, so I got 40 minutes in, and then I had to start over that night because Brian was watching it with me. And I was just I was so sick of Scream 3 by the time I was done with that. I was just never again.
I will never watch that again. I will die happy not watching that.
Exactly. And dude, this is while I'm coherent and I can actually say something about the movie here. I think that it really is the dud of the franchise. But not only that, dude, it's a soulless movie. It's got nothing to it. It's
like those two porn stars in their house.
They're fucking soulless. They got fucking no art on their walls. They got nothing, dude. So yeah, it's just one of those things where
I think what it does, if anything, is it proves what happens when you bring Kevin Williamson No,
Right.
when you don't have Kevin Williamson writing a Scream film, is that it just doesn't work.
Did he not write that?
No.
Plus, who the fuck needs a 2-hour-long slasher film that's not good? You don't need that. They were just jerking themselves off with the 2-hour runtime, and it was ridiculous. So, I mean, we had, 30 minutes left, and we had just gotten to, or like maybe 40 minutes left, and we had just gotten to the third act.
Right.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Dan, the big question everybody has been asking is, what did you throw up into?
Trash barrel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A trash barrel.
People really wondering that?
Yes, they did. And it's actually not hard to believe. I can see that.
I was so fucked up that day. I apologize.
If Alex can pee into beer bottles.
Hey, at least I can tell you where I peed into.
Oh, I do that too. I mean, hey, the fucking show comes first, dude. You can,
Yeah, really. We're not going to leave for that. Actually, there's a lot of things happening on this show. This is a huge show, believe it or not. Now, I'm so proud Duncan is here because the day we're recording this is April 2nd, and it is the 2-year anniversary of the Skeleton Crew. We have been in business for 2 straight years. Yes, we recorded the first few shows a couple days ahead of course, before April 2nd, but we debuted on April 2nd, 2012.
Welcome to Rabbit and Blue Radio with the Skeleton Crew, exclusively at horrorvid.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rabbit and Blue Radio with the Skeleton Crew. This is Alex,
Michael J,
and our special guest host,
Dan J.
We've, I know what you're thinking. We kind of remember that show. They've been gone for a while. Well, things are a little different. We're a little restructured now, and we're going to get into all that later. But right now, we got a special for you. We are doing the 12 days of Friday the 13th. We're going to break down, dissect, and everything in between all 12 Friday the 13th movies leading up to Friday the 13th this April, which is the first Friday the 13th of the year. And you're going to have a good time. We're all going to have a good time, right, guys?
Very excited.
I am very excited. I'm
thrilled.
I'm pitching a 10 over it. But
I'm ready to puke.
Friday the 13th retro was like boot camp, dude. Do you remember how much fucking work we did that went into that? Like, I just remember hours, dude. I mean, like, hours of fucking work for that.
I'll still never forget the worst experience in the world was the Friday 5 review. Like, we did part 1, we were a little timid. So, even Cosmic Creeper said that sucked, the first one. But he said, for some reason he couldn't turn it off. So that's good. It's great.
Like a train wreck.
I think there was a great magic captured in the Friday 2 review.
Yeah.
And 3, I think we bashed it a little too much. That was probably hard to take. But then 4 caught that magic again because it was the real genuine passion of a Friday fan with all of us.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we're on a roll, man. Good. This is a good start. All of a sudden, we go to record part 5, and we just have fucking nothing. We have no chemistry. Our timing is off. The jokes are bad. The references, we had nothing to say about anything.
Mm-hmm.
We got done recording 45 minutes, and I go, guys, this sucks. I said, we got to do something, because we can't even put this out. And both of you were like, well, you want to keep going? I was like, yeah, let's just do more and try to somehow edit this to a whole one show. And that's what we did. I think we spent another 35 minutes on it. And then when I edited it, it went down to like 40 altogether.
Yeah. Right.
So that was a bad show, but it turned out okay with those edits. And then
we're trying to find our footing though, man. I mean, I know I didn't even know how to podcast. If you listen to those old shows, I'd be talking and trying to think of my next thought, and I didn't have it. Like, I'd just be buying time. So you know what I mean? It was just horrible, dude. Like, this is, before proper note taking and everything. So, but dude, I love those shows though, man. I love looking back on them and thinking back to when we started and shit, and thinking actually where we are now. It's fucking crazy, dude. It kind of blows my mind.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we did things so differently. Duncan, I don't know if you could tell or if you even remember what they were like, but, Dan and I and Mike, we didn't even watch any of those movies before we did those 12 shows.
Well, we knew them pretty well, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, we know them like everybody knows them. And, but we couldn't even give you a specific, thing like we do now. It's just really weird. But Dave said that kind of captures something different that was really unique about it, and he loved it for that. So,
right. That's cool.
Hey, it all worked out pretty much. So,
hi, Skeleton Crew. It's me, Mara J. Just want to stop by and say happy 2-year anniversary to you, Jamie and Dan. Love you guys. Like I always said, never had a bad thing to say about the crew because all your shows, since day one, I've been here and I loved every one of them. You made my day. You made me laugh. I learned about new movies and I heard of movies that I never heard of and I looked them up and I always try to watch them and see what they're all about because you guys say so many interesting things that I wish that I had all the time in the world to watch everything you guys watch. So, but just want to say thank you. Thank you for 2 great years. And I'll be here till the end. And I will never stop listening even when you're gone. I have them on my phone and I always listen to them more than 2 times every time I get bored or I want to listen to something fun and funny. And I just love you guys. And thank you so, so much. Okay, guys? And thank you. Bye-bye.
So yeah, 2 years, Skeleton Crew. But here's the other thing. The day this is coming out, this show, is the day Kurt Cobain died 20 years ago today.
Is that 20 years already?
April 5th, 1994.
Holy shit, I feel
Shit, man.
Damn.
Now, Duncan, you a big Nirvana fan?
Yeah, unfortunately, I kind of got into Nirvana after Kurt Cobain died.
Yeah, right. Who didn't?
About 96, 97.
Oh, that late? Yeah?
Yeah. I got into just kind of the heavier side of music kind of about that time. And, my friends used to give me, he had fucking piles and piles of albums. And he used to just say, go and take that one away and listen to it. If you like it, make yourself a copy on cassette, because that's how far we're going back here. The copy it on a cassette and bring it back. If you don't like it, just hand it back to me and stuff. And I remember hearing In Utero. That was the first one I heard, and it's still my favourite one that they ever did. But I remember hearing that and just thinking, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it sounded like a mess.
Yeah, I've never heard anything like it before in my life. But there's just something that I think. There's always going to be that argument that Nirvana got big off the fact of the whole Kurt Cobain thing. But I think genuinely that as musicians, they were just kind of hitting their stride when he died as well. So I think that band would still be on the go just now, probably just as fucking big, even if he hadn't have died. So, but that's fucking scary, man. That's 20 years.
Yeah,
it makes me feel old as fuck.
It does, dude. Well, look at Pearl Jam though. Okay, same fucking kind of thing, dude. They're still going. They're doing their fucking thing. They're still coming out with
their
good
careers
music.
In the shitter though, dude.
What's that?
Their careers in the shitter though.
Dude, they don't care about that. Pearl Jam don't give a fuck about their career, dude. And
but
money.
You know that he's still a pompous fucking asshole though. Have you ever heard that guy? Back in 2005, Crazy Cabby, I don't know if you remember from K-Rock, him and it was Kane and Cabby. They interviewed those guys. They're the most pretentious fucking assholes you ever heard in your life, man.
What?
Oh my god.
I just think Nirvana would be kind of doing the same thing where they're still, you had that,
I don't think so. I don't think Kurt would have stayed in the band as long.
Okay, well then there you go.
Do you?
I don't know, dude. I was never a big Nirvana fan, to be honest with you. I listen to the music. I do enjoy it. But the first song that I fucking really loved by Nirvana was You Know You're Right. When they fucking released that, what? But you know what I mean? But I think that song's fucking magical. I do like it. I especially like the Unplugged, the MTV Unplugged. I love that shit, dude. I love it. Rob G was at that taping.
Yeah, I know, he said that.
Isn't that crazy? That's funny.
Yeah, the best song on there was the David Bowie cover.
Oh,
Definitely.
Maybe we'll play that one on this show, just to pay tribute to Kurt. Because Jamie, were you a big fan of Nirvana?
Nope.
How'd I know this was coming?
Moving on.
No, like back then, it was like I remember the first time I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit, I was at a party. They were playing it on MTV and they had to have subtitles. And I was just watching it and then I was like, all right, well, I kind of got into that. But then after a while, I was just like, yeah, I'm over this. And he's so emo and annoying. And I was never a Kurt Cobain
Jamie,
fan.
this is a tribute to a dead guy.
I don't care. You asked me if I was a fan. No, I wasn't. I honestly think that they're overblown and people, I don't know where they get all the love. I don't get it.
Well, I get it. But you're right. I think it's overblown. But here's the thing. That first, okay, I'll break it down. There's, the first album is like called Bleach or something.
Yeah, Bleach.
Yeah, that has like 7 awesome songs on it. Then you got Nevermind. That has like,
That's a big
8 awesome at it. I think there's 10. And that's their biggest, obviously. And then you got, Incesticide, which was like the B-sides, all the stuff that they didn't put on Nevermind, but it sounds completely different. Even though the same guy produced it, it doesn't have the same power to it. It's weird. And that has about 5 good songs on it. Then you got In Utero. That, almost the entire album is perfect.
Really? Yeah. I've never listened to it all. I gotta do it now.
Dude.
Okay.
It is the best. Duncan is absolutely right. That is the real Nirvana, man. That's the talent and the lack of slickness and gloss. That's like the gritty shit. That's the best shit. And the first song sounds insanely bad. Like, it sounds like shit. The bumper has been removed from the YouTube broadcast. To hear the show in its entirety, click the link in the show's description box below. When they first recorded that, they brought it to Geffen Records, and the executives heard it, and they said they absolutely refused to release this piece of shit. They said, you gotta do this shit over. They said, it sounds horrible. And they did it over, and they still thought it sounded horrible, but Kurt said, well, that's it, man. I mean, I don't know what you want. And they just put it out there, and I think, the hype of everything, maybe people see it for its greatness only in retrospect, or maybe only because they love that other album. If that just came out, we would all just dismiss it.
And I'll say this too, I can't stand, and you said this too, like, how about, like, you called me out on the fucking Jason Takes Manhattan. He's like, oh, fucking nobody knows that they're filming in fucking Canada. Who cares? If you don't know, same kind of thing where, there's so many people, oh, I could feel the change in music when they came in. No, you didn't. You were fucking into Poison and fucking, and listening to all these fucking bands, and you were probably like, what the fuck is this?
Welcome to the jungle!
You're gonna die!
Music wouldn't let you stay with Poison and all those things because it was such an overtaking with everything on the radio. I mean, you had to listen to Smashing Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots, Blind Melon, Radiohead.
See, to me, Alex, and I'm glad you said that because I know you're a big fan too, but I was more of a fucking Pumpkins fan than like a Nirvana fan.
Oh, far more.
I got into music a couple years later, which kind of lines up with the Pumpkins more than Nirvana. But, I mean, the Pumpkins were still around when Nirvana came around, but I was more fucking following their career than anything else, more than Nirvana's. Definitely.
Yeah, they hit big in '96 with that double album.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that has my favorite song of theirs on it. It's called Bodies. I've played a little bit on the show.
Great song.
Yeah, that's like the heaviest song they've ever done, and it's like my favorite one. Just the way he screams, dude. Like, go on YouTube, look up Bodies. Like, that's the greatest song from the Pumpkins, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yep.
So, hey man, Kurt, we miss you, brother, and sorry you didn't think life was worth living, but, I mean, it was meant to be. It is what it is, and we're all gonna die someday anyway. So what's the difference, I guess, when it happens? But
Yep.
I don't know, man. I mean, it definitely was like a time stamp of our lives. I don't think any of us will forget where you were when you. I really don't know where I was when I heard he died, but I remember that those days at least, that time of my life.
I was a little too young for that, so I don't remember that shit at all.
No, I was 14.
Yeah, I was like 10.
Yeah, you were 10. Yeah, you don't remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Duncan, you remember that?
Yeah, I actually remember it was my friend that was really into them at the time. They were the guy that got me into music, and that sort of music. And I remember he was gutted. He used to have pictures of him all over his bedroom and stuff like that. And he was like really. It was one of those things that I think it happened, and it's not like, you got to remember, the internet wasn't around at that time. Well, it was, but it wasn't like we know the internet now. Right. And I think it took like about 1 or 2 days for the news to properly hit out over in the UK, that Kurt Cobain had committed suicide, and he was devastated. I mean, he would like tears and everything. And I mean, I would have been 94, I would have been 13. So,
oh my Lord. I was in college.
Yeah, Jamie was 26.
I was not 26, but I was in college.
So,
Jamie was just back from a tour in Nam.
Yeah, right? That's classic.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So I would ask Jamie if she remembers, but she can care less. So
I remember. I just didn't care.
She just didn't care.
But I do remember. I think my response was, "What a dumbass."
Yeah, there was actually you think he's a dumbass. There was a fucking copycat suicide around that day. Like about a week later.
Now that's a dumbass.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, if he could be alive today and think and say, what the fuck did I do?
I can't, man, because I've met some fucking depressed-ass people that have fucking killed themselves, dude. And I mean, not that it makes sense to me, but I've seen it, so it's like, okay, that's what that looks like. And I've seen interviews of Kurt Cobain and shit, and it's like, nobody can tell you how the fuck you're feeling. Same thing with, like, that dude that you were talking to, Demon, Nobody can fucking say what connection you have, and same with you and Oderus. When you talk to him and you thought he was such a fucking cool guy, and nobody can take that away from you. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of people that, like we said with Harold Ramis, he's my fucking favorite director. He's
my childhood.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just, it's a little overblown, but I do understand what you guys are talking about too, with that connection that you feel, especially talking to people, because you just get their personality, and it's like you said, wow, that person's fucking not here anymore. It's kind of fucked up, and it does, man. It hits you, It definitely hits you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My dad is the type of person who will say, if you commit suicide, you're a coward. Now, I don't judge people that fucking commit suicide. Sorry. Number one, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they don't want to be here. And Kurt Cobain was a major heroin addict, and that's a horrible life. And he had stomach ulcers.
Exactly, dude.
It was a nightmare. Yeah. Total nightmare to be alive. And he really, once you get that fame, I could imagine getting that big and then not caring and not being like that, not fulfilling me anymore. I could definitely see that happening,
And the best art comes from pain too, man. I mean, everybody knows that. It's kind of a fucked up thing to say, but if you think, that's where the best shit comes from, unfortunately. Well,
except for the Scream 3 review. That was painful, but it was not great art.
Painful on a whole different level.
The funniest comedians are the ones who have such a shitty life and a shitty past, and they have so much, because it gives you a lot to work off of. Some of the best art does come from pain, and that is, I guess, a double-edged sword. You get to be. You get to express yourself artistically, but that at the same time, you also have to live through those things that bring that artistic view, which is often very painful and very sad, and I'm sure there was no one will ever know everything that was going on in his mind, and I'm like you, Alex, though. I don't really judge people, because I feel like if they did something, if something is so bad that they just can't imagine going on and they just don't want to go on, who am I to tell them that they have to?
Yeah, who the fuck are we, dude? Yeah.
I think it's sad for his child, though, that, he left his child behind, and
yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the name of his kid. Maybe that's why he did it.
What was it, Apple or something?
No, wait.
Oh, it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Frances Bean, right?
Frances Bean.
She had her revenge. No, I will judge the copycat guy, because he's just a moron.
No, that was just retarded.
Yeah, that's just stupid. So you're just an asshole. But anybody with a real reason to do it, okay.
Right.
Hey, Skeleton Crew. It's Cosmic Creepers here. I just wanted to drop in to wish you guys a happy 2-year anniversary. to Alex, Dan, and Jamie Jenkins. Thank you so much for the 2 years of entertainment you provided me. I truly appreciate it. Love you guys. Peace out.
So going back to horror real quick before we get to Scream. So there's news of Phantasm 5 is happening.
Coscarelli, baby.
No, Coscarelli is not doing it, dude.
He's not directing it, but he is involved, and he handpicked the director.
I'm down.
So, I mean,
awesome,
he handpicked the guy to direct this because they've worked together before, and he completely trusts that he will give the vision that he wants. So I'm super excited about this.
Oh, and dude, yeah, and the Ghoul wants us to do a Phantasm retrospective so bad. Dude, he's been asking for it since like day one.
I know. Maybe when part 5 comes out.
Maybe, yeah. There you go.
What's up, Skeleton Crew? It's Tony T here. Just wanted to wish you a happy 2-year anniversary. That's pretty crazy because your Evil Dead remake show was the first show of yours that I ever heard. That was show number 51, so looks like I missed the party last year, but this makes it my official 1-year anniversary as a dedicated listener. I started listening to you guys because after I went and saw the Evil Dead remake, I went to work and I basically felt like listening to somebody not be a douchebag and just admit that they liked that movie because it was a fucking blast. I like the fact that you guys aren't trying to be fake film critics. You're just being honest and fun. Love all your personalities, and you are just so goddamn entertaining to listen to. So, like I said, thank you very much, and happy 2-year anniversary.
So, the Scream TV show, there's news about that again.
Dude, isn't that crazy, though? That just came out fucking today, right? I saw it on, I think Alex Anderson posted it, but I saw it on Bloody Disgusting as well. Dude, the day that we're fucking...
doing on Bloody Disgusting?
I'm sorry.
No one should be on Bloody Disgusting.
Is it bad?
Just yeah? No, I'm just. I don't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a personal thing, and that's all I'm going to say.
What? Should I go to jamiejenkins.com?
If that existed, I would totally tell you to do that, but it does not exist.
I'm going to do that. Hope it's not taken.
It's weird because a show that's doing a Scream retrospective on one of their big days, the 2-year celebration, that news comes out.
The last one, too. Like, we're doing Scream 4 today, and that news drops about the TV show. And remember we said in 1 that we got no news on it? We're like, yeah, we've heard nothing about it.
Yeah, we were supposed to. That's why it took so long to do this, because we were going to do it to build into that show the way we always do ththings.
Yep.
It never came to anything, so we just said, fuck it, we're going to die before we get this over with, so we just did it now.
What do you guys think about the... It basically says not much confirming that Craven is directing or anything. They say he will direct the pilot, but he's not confirmed or anything. But I guess the synopsis is like... okay, the pilot explores a YouTube video that has gone viral and causes problems for the protagonist, Audrey, who is caught in the middle of murders in the town's troubled past. So I'm guessing it's in Woodsboro, I would assume. Yeah. It'd be stupid if it wasn't, but I don't know, dude. And the things that I liked about Scream 4, kind of updating it with the technology, I thought was some of it was bullshit and some of it was done really well. So... It's all how they use these YouTube videos. Well, that's not all it is, but it's all how this shit is done, and I hope it's not fucking cheesy. And I don't know, is MTV still doing it? Yeah, it's MTV, so you never know. I mean, people tell me Teen Wolf is good. I will stop ragging on that show,
Wow, people still watch that, huh?
People still watch it, right?
Shit.
Jamie must. It's a werewolf show, right, Jamie?
Oh, she must watch it then.
Huh?
What, Teen Wolf? You know what's funny is, no, I don't. Mike keeps trying to get me to watch it for Evil Episode, right, because he watches it, and I'm just like, no. I don't know why I'm resistant. He keeps telling me it's good, and I keep telling him I'm gonna, and then I never do. So
the only person they can't get to watch it is the girl who runs the Liking It show.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I was bitten in the ass by Bitten. I'm not doing that again.
Oh, Bitten! Oh my God! Right?
It's like the werewolves of OC.
90210.
Oh, that is awesome. I love you so much right now.
Oh Oh shit, you're crazy, Jamie.
But there's a bunch of other stuff about the pilot too, and it's pretty intriguing, man. I mean, honestly, I'd like to see a Scream 5 and kind of maybe, I don't know, wrap up all the bullshit things that happened in Scream 4 that they didn't pursue. So I wanted to see that at kind of like this is the next obviously story.
That says the no shit.
But the thing is, see, if they can pull this off though, man, and they might be able to fucking do this where they can still make the movies. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. If they stay away from the supernatural shit like they hinted, and if they keep it in the same, they keep the same tone, fuck yeah, they
keep it real, bitch. Keep it real.
Yo.
Oh, yo.
I wonder if they'll bring it back.
Yeah, they gotta bring it back. Then it'll be the best TV show ever.
Maybe they'll buy fucking Stu's old house.
It'll be better than not. Oh, dude, they should go back to that house.
I love that fucking house, dude. I want to party there. I want to get drunk there. I want to fucking, yeah.
Dude, that one shot of like from a distance looking at the whole house, it looks like the greatest place in the world to hang out, man.
Doesn't it, man? It makes so much sense. Fucking Stu knows where he's going when he's chasing her. I was like, how the fuck did he pop out there? Oh yeah, that's right. It's his fucking house.
Exactly.
Hey, Skeleton Crew guys. This is Brian Sammons. I've been listening to your show now for probably the last 6 months, give or take. And so far, I've really enjoyed it. I've even gone back and listened to your archive. And I gotta say, you have one of the best put together and sounding horror podcasts out there. Whoever does the editing and the stitching and the inclusion of all the little sound bits really does a good job. The fact that you guys have a great chemistry together and you always cover a nice wide range of interesting movies, well, that's just icing on the cake. I wanted to call in and say, happy anniversary, guys. Thank you so much for all the awesome entertainment you've given me over these last 6 months. And I look forward to continuing listening to The Skeleton Crew. Please keep up the very good work, and I'll be more than happy to continue listening. Great job to everyone involved. And once again, happy anniversary.
One last thing before we hop out of this is unrelated to horror. The movie Sabotage came out, and everybody knows I'm a big Arnold fan.
Listen, y'all, what's the Sabotage? Sorry.
So yeah, who was that? The Beastie Boys or something?
I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm gonna set it straight this Watergate. I love that song. I do that for fucking karaoke fucking all the time when I'm shit-faced, dude.
Dude, did you need to check out, you ever heard the Cancer Bats cover of it? Right, well, the Cancer Bats, linking back into an earlier story, the Cancer Bats toured with Gwar, and they have a YouTube video up of them playing live on stage with Oderus singing Sabotage with them.
Really? Oh my god.
You need to fucking check out. He's still in full costume and everything. It's fucking mental.
Wow, dude, we'll post that for sure. Fuck yeah. That's crazy.
Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that Sabotage is a really solid flick. Even Jake Courthouse likes it too, yeah.
Jake Courthouse.
The bad news is the whole planet's really not that interested in it. There must be like Jamie with Nirvana, and nobody went to see it.
Dude, I heard he was fucking jacked in this movie. Like there's a picture of him working out in the gym, and I guess he's fucking back on the roids, fucking ready to go, huh?
Yeah, man. I think so.
Hey, man, he's doing the new Terminator and fucking King Conan and fuck, man.
King Conan, yeah, man. I'm more excited, believe it or not, for Conan than Terminator. Like, Terminator just sounds crazy. We don't have, we spent a lot of time before the Scream thing, so we'll get into the, what we heard about Terminator later, but it just sounds like insane. I don't know if they could pull it off, but
I will fight my younger self.
Exactly. It's weird. So, but Conan, that should be great. I've been waiting for that since 1986 or something.
Dude, I just watched that for the first time in a long time, Conan the Barbarian. Wasn't
it great, dude?
Holy shit, is that a good movie, dude?
James Earl Jones, man.
Yep.
As Falsa Doom. Oh my god.
It'll be interesting, Alex, to see if this, you're saying obviously it didn't perform particularly well at the cinema. It'll be interesting to see if this is going to kind of spiral through now, because I don't think Escape Plan did particularly well for, his collaboration with Stallone. I don't think Stallone's film Bulletproof did particularly well either.
Dude, that was straight to video.
Was it? Yep. Right.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think it may have had a cinematic release in the UK. I don't know what that says about us.
I think it was straight to, maybe I'm wrong. Hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was definitely straight to video. Yeah.
Yeah, but Escape Plan, though, even though it bombed in the US, dude, it made mad money overseas.
That's the thing. Everyone's saying Arnold has a huge following overseas. And so
this is what I was going to say, yeah.
So does David Hasselhoff. What is that?
I think I'll be interested because my theory, don't mock the Hoff. No.
So does David Hasselhoff.
Eating a cheeseburger.
That's the best video ever, man.
That
right there
video, man.
is drunk man personified, right?
I gotta play that on the show.
But I'll be interested to see, because I've got a theory, and my theory is that basically your kind of Marvel films, your superhero films, are basically, they are now our 80s action films, right? So that's what people, if I was the age I was now when, I was watching Arnie films, I'd be watching Marvel films. That's what I'd be going to see, is because it's ridiculous action, over the top, completely, out there, special effects, the whole thing, explosions, the works. So I think, the trend might be that even though there is a bit of nostalgia for like Arnie and Stallone, and I mean, Expendable shows that, because both of those films did quite well. But I think it might just be that the trend is moving away from those guys now, and maybe it's just that action films are just not like we remember them being. So we'll still go out and check it. I'll still go and see Sabotage when it comes out over here, because I saw the trailer and I was like, this looks like fucking the film that I've been waiting on it to do for fucking 10 years. I can't wait to see it. But I just think the younger people, which is what these films are really being aimed for, they're not being aimed at me and you. They're aimed at the teen market, because that's the market that goes to the cinema the most. I just think these guys don't have the same reverence for people like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
They don't.
They really don't at all. It's weird. It's really strange, but they've not had the, I mean, it's funny, you go back and watch these films, and they are pretty cheesy, and you can laugh all the way through them, but they're still fucking immensely entertaining all the way through.
Yeah.
Commando, Predator, all these things, they're brilliant, but I just think that if you show them to like someone who's like, I don't know, 13, 14, they'll watch it and they'll just go, shrug their shoulders and go back to watching the new Captain America film or whatever, you know what I mean? That's
which I heard
think it's
was
just
fucking really good, dude.
At Predator, you think they will shrug their shoulders at Predator? Who are these 13-year-olds that I need to beat them about the head?
I think this is the thing. I think, unfortunately, Jamie, we're in this situation now where people will more associate Predator with things like Alien versus Predator than actually going back and watching the original.
No, there was a spine pull, and that was fucking awesome.
I know somebody that watches that movie like obsessively, like they love Alien vs. Predator. I'm like, really?
Yeah, Matt Wazell.
Matt Wazell.
Dude, he likes that.
Well, can I say something about Arnold's comeback too? Now, as compared to Stallone's, now I think Stallone has a bigger pull, because Stallone came back with Rocky, which was a good installment of Rocky. I loved it. Some people didn't like it. I thought it was good, dude. I thought it was a fucking good movie. And then he came right after that.
Oh my God, Rambo. Rambo. So fucking good.
It was good, but it wasn't enjoyable though. It was like depressing in a way.
No, it wasn't. You had blood and guts flying everywhere,
dude,
legs.
I love that
That
movie.
was some awesome shit.
Right, and now think about Arnold's comeback. Now Arnold's
The Last Stand was awesome.
So he's not starting and revamping his franchises, getting the people that have grown up with him interested, or younger people knowing, oh, I've heard of Terminator. Okay, let me check this out. And I know what you're saying; they're not as interested, Duncan. I totally get that. Yeah. But if you're trying to get a pull, you're trying to gain an audience.
You should go back to the well that works.
And then you can get away with a bullet bombing like Stallone did.
Yeah.
Like you can get away with your little films doing what they do because you kicked it off with fucking Rocky and Rambo, dude. And they were good. And that's the point. They were good.
Yeah, Arnold should have done Conan when he came back.
Or a Terminator.
Maybe
or something.
Stallone should have done Stop or My Mom Will Shoot too.
Oh man,
he should have done Tango and Cash too.
Right?
Oh, Tango and Cash. Oh, that's amazing. I love that film so much.
Maniac Cop is in that.
I've never seen
Yeah, that's what he is, yeah.
You broke that jaw?
You've got You've got Jack Palance sitting there saying, if it's not tango, it's cash, tango, cash. These two cops are driving me nuts. Fucking amazing, man. Absolutely
I love
amazing.
Duncan's American accent.
I know, right?
It's so bad. It's so bad.
So yeah, I guess so. That's that. Oh yeah, real quick. Just the box office numbers for Sabotage. You say Sabotage. I say Sabotage.
They were horrible, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. The opening day was 1.6, and the whole weekend was like 5.4, some shit.
Dude.
And the opening day for The Last Stand was 2 million, and that was a bomb. So it's getting worse. And what I'm worried about is this going to impact future roles? Are people not going to? And dude, the budget was $35 fucking million.
Right, that's a big fucking hit.
Who's going to cover that?
Who at the fucking studio is going to have to fucking bite that bullet, dude?
Holy shit.
But
man.
yeah,
they're going to wish they had a bullet to the head.
Exactly.
What's up, boneheads? Banana Ways are here, Matt and Dave. Congratulations to the Skeleton Crew. Alex, Dan, Jamie on 2 years. Can't believe it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that you guys have been doing this for 2 years, and it's awesome because Dave and I have said it a million times before, but we are great, huge fans of you guys. You guys really inspire us. Dave and I wouldn't have met if we weren't in the Skeleton Crew. We wouldn't be recording on microphones right now. Banana Laser would have never happened if we weren't inspired by what you guys do.
I gotta tell you, I got lucky, the whole thing. I got lucky just because I happen to know Alex from back in the day. And if I didn't know Alex from back in the day, none of this would be happening right now. So the whole thing is pretty amazing. So there's probably not two guys that are more grateful that the show's been around more than us, because we're probably as big of fans as you could be of the show. I mean, I talked all about it when I appeared on the 50, about how I was listening to it every day and nonstop for months catching up. And boy, I look back on that with real fond memories. And now look where it is now. I mean, everything's great, and we have our thing here, and it's...
Yeah, we barely listen to the Skeleton Crew now because we're so busy. No, seriously.
Never miss a thing.
Absolutely. And now podcasting, Skeleton Crew was the second podcast I'd ever listened to. I was just so enthralled by the subject matter and the personalities of you guys. I just couldn't wait to listen again. I listened right from Jump Street, the Friday 13th shows, and every day I just couldn't wait to get off work. I'm like, there's going to be this new show on Friday 3. I got to hear it, and all this stuff. So, and then the addition of Jamie Jenkins was just brilliant, came in at the perfect timing, and just... you guys even soared to better heights after that. And the stuff you guys do, considering that you're not getting a paycheck for any of this stuff, it's just the love of the game. Do all this for the love of it, and it really shows. And it's that passion that we try to carry through to what we do. Can't congratulate you guys enough. Can't suck your dick enough.
Nice. Once again, I got lucky because I never heard anything. This was the first thing I ever listened to. So talk about starting at the top, and then, thinking that it was all this great, and then listening to the Skeleton Crew, and then I went back and listened to some other shows, and I was like, okay, well, let me try this show. Okay. After I got all caught up on the Skeleton Crew, I was, but I remember, like you were saying, being as excited, and I was excited as can be every day when I first discovered the show. I listened to them all. Same thing. I couldn't wait for my commute. I was listening, driving to work, driving from work, just nonstop for like a month or two till I caught up. And then I was like everybody else, waiting for the next episode to come out. But I got really lucky, or unlucky, because I tried to compare something else to the Skeleton Crew, and it couldn't be done. I was like, okay, great. This is it. There's not a show better, and shit, ain't a damn thing changed, man. It's still. I love those mornings when freaking I look at my iPod and it pops up, and there it is, new Skeleton Crew show. All right, rock and roll.
Absolutely. So yeah, from the both of us, I know. We joke around a lot, but sincerely, Alex, Dan, Jamie, we love you guys. You guys rock. You guys are great friends. Thank you guys very much.
Yes, thank you very, very much. And much love and cheers, and keep doing what you're doing as long as you want. You don't got to stop at 100. You don't got to stop ever. But just keep doing what you're doing, man. We love it.
Don't stop believing. All right.
And cut.
Are we cut?
Nice.
Cut, Pete? All right. Jesus Christ, dude. I am so fucking tired of this bullshit. I mean, I know Alex is paying us to fucking say this shit and come on his show and all this crap, but it's getting
hard. It's getting hard to come up with new shit to say.
How many more? I mean, what? They got 20 shows or something left? Please, God. I'm so done with it. I'm ready for them to be off Horophilia, and so we can just dominate like we should be. Fucking pricks.
It's coming, brother. Don't worry about it. It's coming. Fucking enough. I think the next shows are going to be, I think they're cranking out because even they know that fucking, it's a fall from grace at this point. It's
clearly, look, the only good part of the Skeleton Crew was Michael J. And he's been gone for, 50 episodes now? Jesus Christ.
Shit, have you even told Alex that you've been listening to the Morbidly Made as much as I have?
Man, you should see these Morbidly Made t-shirts I made up for those guys. They fucking rock, dude.
Really? Sweet. Hey, whatever. Just, I didn't want to tell him. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I can't help it. Fucking, if I'm enjoying the Morbidly Made more, what can I do?
Yeah, exactly.
It happens. So. Not everybody stays on top forever. Except for us when we get there.
Oh, yeah. Just get these fucking idiots out of the way. We'll be there.
See ya. We don't want to be ya.
Hey, I got a couple things I want to go through before we get too crazy. Before we get to Scream, yes. Now, what'd you guys think of the fucking Ninja Turtles trailer?
I'm a
Turtle fan.
No, love the Turtles. Absolutely love the Turtles. But I sounded like a Transformer there.
We should isolate that one. Offline, ladies and gentlemen.
No, don't isolate that, Alex. I don't want to hear him.
We got puke. We got yo. We got.
I love you guys.
Let me put it this way, right? What struck it to me straight away is, Michael Bay has his fingers all the way right through this. The standard, where it's like, action sequence happens right at the beginning, buildings are fucking tumbling, half the city's destroyed, and I'm like, that would never have happened in the Turtles cartoon.
Right? That was my first You're right. That is not like, Ninja Turtles, dude.
Exactly. It's not
I don't
maybe
want to eat anything Michael Bay's fingers have been in.
Wait, I thought that he had a problem with that chick from...
Megan Fox, dude, he fucking fired her.
Why is she in his next movie? I don't understand that.
Fuck knows.
I know she's fucking hot, and I'd put her in anything, and I'd put anything in her, but...
Anything in her, right? I heard that she formally apologized to him, that's why, so...
Does that mean she got on her knees and slobbed his knob?
Well, that's what I'm saying, exactly. I mean...
I would put her in a sack.
Yep, she did it...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I want to be April O'Neil.
Now, Alex, how can you accuse her of doing that when you know he's too busy sucking his own cock?
Oh, exactly.
She can't even get in there.
Yeah, she's like, come on, move your head. Let's share. Come on. Did you guys see when he had a meltdown on stage? And it
was amazing.
Oh, he couldn't even tell people about his own movies and how he goes about it. He was like, he was reading his answers from a teleprompter about what he does, how he brings movies to life. What? And then as soon as the teleprompter was stuck, he was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this. And he just walked off the stage. There was like 3,000 kids out there waiting to hear what he said.
Sum it up in one word: explosions. The end.
It was like a Samsung phone thing, and it basically was because the phone had the best visual aspect ratio on a phone or some shit like that, and they brought him out to talk about how he, takes images and puts them on the screen and all the rest. And it's just like Alex said, at first he starts talking and then he realizes the teleprompter's not working.
What inspires you? How do you come up with these unbelievable ideas?
I create visual worlds that are so beyond everyone's normal life experiences, and Hollywood is a place that creates a viewer escape. And what I try to do is, as a director, I try to... the type is all off, sorry, but I'll just wing this.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, we'll wing it right now. I try to take people on an emotional ride, and
The Curve? How does it? How do you think it's going to impact how viewers experience your movies?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Michael Bay for joining us.
I'm sorry, I can't do this. He just walks
off. Total fail.
Oh, man.
You can't even tell people. The guy has to be a genius on some level to even make that shit come to life. How can you not just talk about it?
Yeah.
Like, you imagine talking about this show, like, how do you guys, put the podcast out? Well, first we sit down and, we get our microphones out and, we press record. You know what, guys, I just can't do this.
Dude, if I want to listen to somebody about movie making, I'll listen to Kevin Smith or I'll listen to Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez. That's all. That's all I need. That's all I need, you know? But dude, going back though, Duncan, I totally agree with you. That trailer was complete and total utter shit. Like,
I didn't think it was that bad.
No. Here's what I'm saying though. Okay, it's shit for a couple different reasons. The trailer itself sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
We see a turtle fucking being fucking catapulted into a fucking tank, or I'm sorry, a Humvee rather. Like, what are we even watching? It gives us no, like, anything. Like, and then he fucking takes off his mask. I'm sorry, dude. The turtles look creepy as fuck. They do.
Yeah, they got like round eyes.
No, because they gave them more human faces, dude. Like more mannerisms or whatever in their faces, dude. They look fucking creepy when he. No, it's just a mask. He took off that mask. I was like, what the fuck is that,
creepiest shit ever, man.
No, I'm not gonna be one of those people that Michael Bay raped my childhood. Michael Bay didn't rape shit, dude. He just fucks up a lot of movies, and you don't have to fucking see them, but I have a feeling that this isn't going to be as bad as people say or whatever, but I think it's going to be like a fucking a shell of what it used to be. Oh, thank you, good night.
Okay, Dan, will it at least be better than part 3?
Part 3
it has to be better.
With the scepter, dude. You believe I was going through my old toys, dude? And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I found a little piece of a toy, and it was a fucking Ninja Turtle scepter from part 3. I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "This is the best thing to come out of that shit movie."
Looking back, I had those toys, and I wonder why in the fuck would I ever own that? Like, was the worst movie ever, man. Like, and just today I watched the Turtle cartoon. I watched when Shredder's mother came, and she came into the Technodrome, and Casey Jones, man. Who's that guy who played Casey Jones? He was a real actor. Isn't his name like Cotis?
Is that dude? I think he's in a few things, dude. I think he's in
an Arnold movie too.
I always get him mixed up though with another dude, but now correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he was the villain in Kick-Ass, right? Am I wrong? He kind of looks like Christopher Maloney too, and I think he's in dude, he's in a few things, man. And he's in Harold and Kumar 3, I believe, with Danny Trejo. And I don't know,
God.
dude. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, that movie's fucking ridiculous.
Danny Trejo comes out with a new movie every 3 months.
Oh, can you believe? Dude, he owns Netflix, pretty much.
I know, right? And they're all so bad.
But, dude, remember we were asking him, we were like, what do you get? He's like, I don't know. What do I got next? Like, it's just another job for him, dude. He don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. His name is, Elias
Koteas, yeah.
Koteas. And he's been around since the 80s. He was in,
Cricket!
What's the Pretty in Pink? It's like Pretty in Pink opposite, but, oh hell. Where the girl with Eric Stoltz.
Mask. What is that?
No.
No, he was in Collateral Damage with Arnold.
And he was, recently he was in Haunting in Connecticut.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, dear.
He was in Shutter Island, The Red Line, Benjamin
Wait,
Button.
who the fuck was he? Oh, shit, dude. He was fucking the dude. Yeah.
He's in the Zodiac.
He is?
Yeah, he plays one of the cops. I think it's the Vallejo office. He plays the main guy, one of the main guys trying to hunt down the Zodiac killer.
Well, and and he plays a killer on The Killing. He's the fucking main villain, dude.
No pun intended.
Fucking dude. Dude, he's so good on The Killing, dude. I was like, yo, is that motherfucking Casey Jones? Fuck, dude.
Dude, I loved him. Remember he had to do the Walk of Shame and do fucking Turtles 3, man? And he hung out with those Japanese guys? Holy shit. Yeah. What a paycheck that was. Like, why wasn't he in 2? That would have been fucking epic.
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
Which April O'Neil you like better? The 1 and 1 or 2 and 3?
I'm partial to 1 just because that was my shit, man. Like, 2 and 3, it didn't feel like April, really.
I thought it did, but I think I like the first one better. But the second one I think is hotter. But whatever.
Oh yeah, of course.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Some kind of wonderful.
Sorry.
What did you just blurt out? What are you talking about? He's in that?
He's in. That's the movie with Eric Stoltz. I was trying to remember. It's Some Kind of Wonderful.
Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz. Hey, man, don't fuck with Rocky Dennis, man.
No, I would never.
Please, guys, I know you skip songs maybe if I put them between, segments.
You better not, you cocksuckers.
This is Kurt Cobain. The guy died 20 years ago. Very tragic. Let's listen to his best live performance in MTV Unplugged. This is called The Man Who Sold the World, and we'll be right back with Scream 4 to wrap up our Scream retrospective. The bumper has been removed from the YouTube broadcast. To hear the show in its entirety, click the link in the show's description box below. Scream 4. This is the final entry in the Scream horror series and our retrospective. 2011 this movie came out. I went to see it on opening night, and the synopsis. Sidney Prescott, now the author of a self-help book, returns home to Woodsboro on the last stop of her book tour. There she reconnects with Sheriff Dewey and Gail, who are now married, as well as her cousin Jill and her Aunt Kate. Unfortunately, Sidney's appearance also brings about the return of Ghostface, putting Sidney, Gail, and Dewey, along with Jill, her friends, and the whole town of Woodsboro in danger. So, so that's that. Now, obviously the first thing to talk about, we always said Scream always goes for the big intros. It's never subtle. Except for part 3, that was pretty lame. But so
yeah, part 3 was fucking horrid. It was so stupid, dude.
So what do you guys think of the multiple intro with stab movies? You don't know if you're watching a real stab or if you're at Scream yet, and all that type of stuff. What do you think about that?
Well, like you, I saw this opening night at the cinema, and I thought it was a really cool way to start a film. Less cool once you've seen it. If you go back and watch it again, it doesn't have the same impact. But I remember sitting in the cinema and getting like the first kill, and you're like, you're expecting it because that's how Scream films start. And so you get that, and you're like, oh, that's, and then you find that they've twisted it, so it's someone watching something, you're like, yeah, all right, I'm with that. And then they did it again, and I was like, no fucking way, twice. So when that third one happens, you are sitting there going,
what next?
Yeah, are they going to do it a third time? Because maybe 3 times would be a bit too much. And I think it really works. And I love the fact that in each incarnation, it's like a different. They poke fun at horror in a different aspect each time. So like the original one, it's 2 kind of incredibly highbrow sort of women sitting chatting about horror, which you've not had in any of the previous films. They
dissed Saw 4.
That's right. They talk about torture porn, and they're kind of poking fun at. I think the second lot of them poke fun. They make fun of meta, as a term within films, and then they start poking fun at Japanese horror films, and all these things have taken place in the time between Scream 3 being made and Scream 4 being made. So they really kind of. I really like that. But like I say, when you go back to watch it, so I've not watched this film since the cinema, and you said it's 2011, so 3 years since I watched it, and I sat and watched it just before we recorded, but I could remember that. It was one of the only things I couldn't even really remember who the killers were in this film before sitting down to watch it, but I could remember there was like 3 distinct beginnings to this one, 2 false starts, and it kind of lost its impact. But if you were watching it for the first time, I think it's a lot of fun.
Can you believe I forgot the killers? Like, I think I've seen this 3 times. And for some reason, I didn't know if the killer was the insanely ugly guy with the long hair or his friend. I just couldn't... Yeah. I couldn't decide. I just couldn't remember. But, this intro has, like... They just threw out a bunch of hot-ass chicks, man. And you know what? I'll tell you this.
This whole movie, Doug. This whole fucking movie. There's like 50 of them.
Right, and you know what? I have no problem with that. When it comes to movies and horror movies especially, I don't give a fuck. I am the most shallow piece of shit in the world.
And then they start talking horror, dude. Oh,
right.
man.
Oh, then it really turns me. And then when they got blood all over their face, and they start killing people. Dude, it is so hot, man.
Game over.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's game over. It's like, this is what I wanted out of horror my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Amy T. Garden is Janae. Who cares? Okay, so
I do. That's fine, dude. Yeah, Amy T.
That matters. Okay,
awesome. Hell yeah, dude. She was huge at that point.
You got Britt Robinson as Maureen Cooper, and I guess those are the last two girls to. This is the real now intro. He goes, "You're the blonde with the big tits," and she's like, "I have a 4.0 GPA, asshole."
Yeah. Yeah. The Amy T. Garden's on Friday
yeah, she also says an IQ of like 145, and I'm like, I'm 168.
Who is?
Oh,
Me.
shit.
Oh, bullshit.
No,
what the fuck are you doing on this show?
You. Because I've crossed the line from genius into insanity. That's why.
So, Nev Campbell comes back for the fourth time. Alison Brie is, I don't know.
She's
who's she in this?
Her publicist.
Jesus Christ, you know every actor in the world, Dan?
I love this movie.
How the fuck do you know? You memorize all these names.
Dude, she's on Community. She's on fucking. She's on a couple things, dude. Yeah.
David Arquette comes back. Courtney Cox comes back. Hayden Panettiere, smoking hot. But she cut her hair.
I know that really it bums me out because she's so pretty, and I just do not like her hair in this movie.
Yep, and the lovely Emma Roberts, Julia Roberts' daughter,
niece. Eric Roberts' daughter.
Oh, the ugly guy is Rory Culkin.
There's a Culkin in this. Tristan will love that one.
So ugly, man. Like, dude,
I want to cut his hair.
Oh, so bad, dude.
And
Jamie,
stick it on Hayden.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm looking at him as a kid. He was cool as a kid. What the fuck happened to his face? Holy shit.
Did he play Fuller?
It looked like somebody smashed his face into like a sewer manhole cover or something like that.
What?
That's what it looks like, his face.
That doesn't sound fucking nice at all. I do not want to do that.
Dewey is now the sheriff. Like, I think there were like 42 other guys that were in line ahead of him, but okay. We'll just say that Dewey would have been the sheriff.
No, because he was involved with all those fucking murders, dude. He probably got promoted easily, right?
Dude, they thought of him as a fucking retard.
And he don't have his limp no more. He don't have
Mom
his
says when I'm wearing this uniform, you gotta treat me with respect.
Exactly.
Okay, Deputy Dewey boy.
So luckily in this movie, we don't have to suffer through the insufferable Dewey and Gale staring at each other and being estranged. Thank God. They wake up, they're in bed together. It's already a better movie.
He's got the fucking dun 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 dun, dun as his ringtone. That was gangsta, dude. I love that shit. Yep. Yo, can we go back to the beginning real quick though before we get too far ahead? I just want to say that about the beginning there. I remember that there was a lot of fucking shocks in that beginning. First off, it's the first time we've ever seen two Ghostface, right? I mean, now granted, that was, a movie within a movie within a movie, but I thought that was like the big shocker, like boom, and then there was another Ghostface fucking got the other girl, and that was shocking to me. And then you throw in the fucking stab thing or whatever. But with the chick at the end there from Friday Night Lights, the blonde with the big tits, did you guys notice that they did not the set design of the fucking of the garage looks like it was just built. Like it's all like fresh pine wood. Did you guys notice this? Like they're sitting there and obviously their parents aren't home, but maybe they should get back there and fucking hire some fucking contractors to get in there and finish that fucking garage, dude. I was like, is that that looks like a fucking set.
Just think, they built that garage for that scene, but they couldn't just build those two doors opening into each other. They had to find a house that did that.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and I want to say something, too, about the phone calls and stuff like that in the beginning. Now, even starting each one, the first and the third stab movie, or no, the first stab movie, and then, or not the first
what was
stab.
it, 6 and 7 or 7 and 8?
6 and 7, I believe. Yeah, it was. The first out of the 3, and then the last is what I'm talking about. And I just love the dynamic with Ghostface, dude. You know, with the chick at the end, he quickly fucking got to it. The banter was good. It's like, I'm not an app and shit like that. And it didn't go on too long. And he was like, bitch, you better start running now. And then boom, we're off and running. It didn't go on too long like Drew Barrymore. I don't think that went on too long. But they didn't try to duplicate the whole.
If they duplicated that, it would have been too long. But
Exactly.
Drew's was good how it was, but
Yes.
if you repeated that, then it would be bad. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about the when the movie first starts, when Dimension comes up, they play this fucking music, dude. And I don't know what it is. I fucking get the chills, dude. It's some weird, I don't know. Fucking,
No, I do too. I noticed
you know what I'm
that.
saying?
I noticed that too. And then when you hear the phone ringing in the background, when Dimension is still on the screen, I'm always just like, ee!
Yes, dude, right? That's what I'm saying. It's such a kick-ass start to this movie, and then boom, they go right to the phone, which is the same fucking shot in the first Scream, which is great, dude. I think it's amazing. And then you get to the fucking opening credits. Oh my god! Well, when it says fucking Scream 4, holy fuck, is that a bad fucking musical choice or what?
Yeah, I think you're right, but I don't remember what it was.
Do 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 do. Welcome to Scream 4. Do 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 do.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Dude, we laughed out loud in the theater. I was like, "Is this another joke?" Like Duncan just said. I thought we were being played on again.
This must be Stab's music.
That music is horrid, dude. Sorry, I had to. But yeah, and then from there, it's, you know, the movie's fine as far as musical shit goes. But I just thought that was so fucking out of place.
I am disappointed though, because I looked it up. I was going to get it, and there is. Hang on. Excuse me. The Scream app does not exist. I'm so sad. I was like, I'm getting it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I checked it tonight and it's not there.
No, but there's a soundboard for Scream that, you know, but that's not fun because I want a voice changer. So, but what I did do is I got the Jigsaw voice changer, so I've been playing with that. I'm like, fine, Scream, if you're not going to let me be Ghostface, I'll be fucking Jigsaw.
It's like, what's your favorite scary movie?
Jigsaw, you can record with the Jigsaw one, you can record whatever you want, and it sounds like Jigsaw, and that is very cool. So anybody, and then you can send it. You can't, however, use it on your phone during conversation, but you can record messages and send them to people.
Yeah, right.
So I've been having fun with that, but I really wanted that Scream app. I'm like, I'm doing it, and I wasn't doing it because they didn't have it.
The weird thing that you related those two things, Jamie, is because in the first Scream, he's like, I want to play a game. And Jigsaw is always like, let's play a game.
Yeah.
So that's weird. So you got...
Wait, guys, right now. Sorry.
You got this annoying blonde bitch who has lemon squares and shit, and you got...
She is so annoying. Deputy Judy is on my nerves.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Can we just say, though, Duncan, we just reviewed a movie with her in it, dude. Marley Shelton is the fucking shit. Dude.
Yeah, I like it.
Great actress.
I think she's a great actress. It's funny because obviously what they do is they take the fact that, you know, you now have Deputy Dewey is now the sheriff, so we now have Deputy Judy, which sounds like Dewey, and she's basically, she's just the female equivalent. Everything's by the book and very, you know, got to do things this way.
She even does the faces. She does
exactly
the same faces that he does.
Gail even says, she's like, all you need is a mustache.
That's right, yeah.
Yep.
Wow, you're good, Duncan.
And her lemon squares apparently taste like ass.
Yeah. They really don't.
No, they really do. And she would know. That's why Dewey was always smiling.
Remember we were in Drama Club together? We were in Homeroom?
That was the weirdest scene ever, man.
So weird, dude. Yeah.
You were Tiger Lily and I was...
Yeah. Yeah, and then you got Anthony Anderson. Everything okay upstairs? I fucking love it, and that's what I want to say too about the two cops, dude. I ain't gonna lie, dude. I watched the fucking first season of OC, dude. Adam Brody's the man, fucking, and Anthony Anderson. Obviously, I think he's fucking hilarious, dude. Some people don't like him. I think he's fucking hilarious.
Who are they?
The two cops.
You know the fucking cops' names? God damn.
Well, yeah, Anthony Anderson is in a lot of shit. I mean, he's in
Scary Movie 3 and 4.
I would never think to know that cop's name.
He played in that fucking rapping movie with Jamie Kennedy when he was trying to be black. Remember that?
Yeah, I've seen that guy and stuff. I just don't know who he is, though. You know.
Maybe he's related to Ed Harris.
Exactly.
Callback.
Nice, Duncan. I love that. I love that Duncan nailed the callback. I love that shit.
That was good. I didn't even get it, yeah.
Want to hear the craziest part of the callback? That was on our 1-year anniversary show.
That's right.
That's weird.
And we haven't mentioned that in a while either. Jesus.
We hit not in a year, I guess. So.
Man.
Oh, you had... Alex had about 5 people shouting at him. Ed Harris, he was in this film. You're like, nah. I don't know.
The Rock. No,
yeah, that's...
I thought he was the pitcher in Major League before Charlie Sheen got the job. You know, this movie actually stays away from pretty horrible things. Like, there's not too many what the F moments, but the one that always, like, irks me a little bit is the sort of in the beginning when the kid's walking around with the camera on his head, and he walks up to this asshole Trevor in the hallway, and he gets dissed because Jill says, you know, I don't want to go back out with you because you left me for another chick and you banged her and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And he goes, all right, man, what's your favorite scary movie? And he goes, I'll show you. I'm like that. I just want to punch. I want to level everybody in that hallway.
And then
what bothers me about that is no fucking school is going to let you walk around with a camera attached to your head.
Of course not.
Right. This is Hall Pass with Robbie Mercer. Fuck out of here. Who calls your show Hall Pass, by the way? You're a dork. You fucking geek. Get the fuck, this is Hall Pass. And dude, if you watch every fucking teenager, almost, it's like 90% of them, they're all on their cell phones, and a lot of them are like pointing to fucking Robbie Mercer, and they're like, hey, we're watching his show. We're watching it through this camera. Yeah, right. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like,
you're there. Why would you watch?
All he needed was David Silver in the DJ booth, and he'd be cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, doing a dedication to Scott.
But yeah, exactly. Oh, I hated that. I'll get into that fucking aspect. We'll all get into that bullshit fucking storyline that went nowhere. But backing up too, dude, Dewey has some of the cheesiest lines that he's ever fucking said in Scream movies. Now, one is when fucking we first meet Kirby, dude, and which is I think is a great fucking scene where she's just gripping down the street. He goes, 25, stay alive. I go, what the fuck? That was like that Dark Knight fucking line that was so out of place. He was like, see you have a nice trip. See you next fall. I was like, did he really just fucking say that?
Who said that?
Oh my god.
Well, there's some good lines, like when he said to Gail, I know you would never be with Dewey in real life, or I thought you wouldn't.
Oh,
and
yeah,
she
yeah,
just
yeah,
looks
yeah,
at her
yeah.
and glares. Like, that's so funny, because she is.
Well, and dude, they were like on the outs, and they were always fucking, I guess they're still friends or whatever, but they were on the outs in this movie. And I'll say this, dude, in this movie, their chemistry was fucking zero. Like, their story, I guess a lot of it was the story itself, but they had no chemistry. Him and Gail.
Well, right away, you pretty much, I mean, it doesn't take too long to get to the first kill. The 3 girls are in the bedroom, and, you know, he says, I'm in the closet, blah, blah.
You know, it was just a couple of things that, I mean, it's always been like my big kind of problem with the Scream films in general is the fact that the killer can use a mobile phone, speak clearly in an audible voice, but is talking in a cupboard right beside someone, and that person doesn't hear it. You know what I mean? So the fact he's saying that, and the cupboard's not even 3 paces away from where they're standing, and he's, like, I'm in the cupboard, and all this stuff, and he's clearly not in that cupboard, right? And the fact that the camera as well focuses so much on the fact that they've still got the other girl on the line. It wasn't necessarily a shock to me. What was a shock to me was how bloody her death was.
Most
that's
death in the whole series.
Telegraphing of it.
Yeah, I mean, they really took the camera, but has never been shy in Scream films, but they've never felt the need to really throw like a ridiculous amount of gore. But she gets fucked up, and so much so that she's left lying on her bed with her insides out, and the camera shows you that, which you don't see in any other Scream film. Which I think, and that point of view, when you're watching that, I think you get this feeling. I mean, the whole tagline of this is, that basically was it new decade, new rules, or something like that. And when you see that, and as early in the film as it is, and you see that level of kind of graphic violence, you're like, right, this is a different sort of Scream film. You know, we're going to get something completely different here. So maybe not necessarily a shock, but the killing itself, pretty shocking. So,
well, can I say something about that, Duncan? I watched that scene again, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, with these movies, I'm not saying that they weren't, like, we talked about this in Scream 2. How the fuck long was this motherfucker in the closet for, right? Okay, now, with that said, okay, you got this one. Olivia just got home, okay? She's talking to them, and she's like, Angel of Death still there? No, I'm good over here. So she goes up, and she's changing. We get a little fucking titty flash. Well, not really, but we see her fucking bra and a sexy little fucking thing. And here's the thing about that. I think Wes Craven and the writers are so conscious of the fact that everybody's looking back on these movies trying to place who, you know, like, okay, if it was this killer, fucking it couldn't. So basically, there was no way that there was two killers involved in that kill. That was all Kieran Culkin on the phone and in the closet, because Jill is clearly with Kirby in the other room. Now, if you listen to that call, he is whispering the whole time. Like, he's whispering like this. He's like talking very soft. So now, whether it's believable or not, no, I still think fucking, you know, I can hear you, dude. I can fucking hear you. But at the same time, at least they tried. He didn't get it's not an app. Like, he didn't do anything like that. And I did watch back, and I think they are conscious of that fact now, and they're trying not to duplicate the whole fucking, hey, Ghostface was in a fucking closet for 10 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think in terms of that show, the way they try and set it up as if he's in one cupboard and he's in another, I just saw that like a mile off. I just thought it was like really, I thought it was telegraphed, but I've no problem with that at all. And then, like I say, he fucks her up something, smashing her through her mirror, stabs her God knows how many times, and then basically fucking eviscerates her, which is, I mean, pretty brutal for Scream. I'm down with that. Even watching it back, I could not remember it being as gory, because the thing about it hasn't. Yeah, you just don't expect it to go that far. Right. Especially when I was watching through, because I ran through the franchise like this week and prepped for this, and there's nothing close to that kill scene in any of the previous ones at all.
Except for Drew Barrymore's fucking dummy hanging down there with all the guts hanging out in the unrated or whatever.
Jamie, was that kill too gory for you?
Oh, hell no. You can't get too gory from me.
Too gory?
But no, I agree that I think it was easily telegraphed the entire time. I mean, that it never really surprised me that he was in the other closet. However, I think it was worth it. You know, even if you saw it coming, it was still good. I love how vicious it was. I mean, he slings her out the window, then slings her back, then he's just... Blood is everywhere. It looks like the cabin in Friday 6.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, it is just covered in blood. So when Sydney walks into that room and there's blood everywhere, I'm like, I love this, because that is, I mean, like Duncan said, that is something that you never really got before. I mean, you never got just blood wall to wall. And now we're playing in Friday territory.
Right.
And that made me really happy. So right off the bat with that, even if I did see it coming, as far as like the closet thing goes, I still think it was really well done. I still think it was really well written.
Right.
And I think maybe you hit it, Duncan, when you said if you're seasoned. If you're not seasoned, you probably won't see that coming.
Yeah. Right. Well, and we know where he's not, because we see Kirby open the fucking closet in the goddamn trailer, so we know he's not in that closet. First off, if you watch the fucking trailer. But here's the thing about this conversation that he has with Sydney, which provided one of the biggest fucking jump scares that I've ever had. Dude, I fucking flipped out during this, because it sets it up. Now, you want to talk about that being predictable, right? He tells Sydney, I'm gonna fucking kill you when I want to kill you, bitch. I'm gonna kill all your fucking friends first, and
but then he goes to kill her in like 2 minutes.
But that's what makes it work. That's what I'm saying. That's why I thought Ghostface is gone, bro. Like, I thought, because he's like, I'm coming back for you, and then he's fucking still there, dude, and he just pops out. Dude, I flipped, dude. I thought that was one of the best setups ever, because he's basically saying, I'm gonna fucking kill all your family and friends before I come after you, and then he's fucking right there. So I guess he was lying, or technically he went after Jill and cut her. But I just thought that was brilliant. I didn't think Ghostface was still in that house. Did you guys? I mean, I fucking flipped out. I was like, oh shit, he's still in there. But that's what I like about Sydney.
I think there's some of the best writing, actually. Even the dialogue with Ghostface and anybody, actually. This was the best, I think, out of all the Screams, except for the opening scene of 1. I think it was even stronger than a lot of the stuff in Scream 1. Like, I think Kevin Williamson got better at writing it or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it was just really gripping, and I was really into it, and it just pumped me up even more.
You know what I was thinking? Why are these two assholes standing here looking out the window when both of them have a cell phone in their hands and neither one of them is calling the police? Even though we have a cop car downstairs,
right.
They don't really know what's happening in the house across the street. So call the fucking cops. You're holding a cell phone. I didn't get it.
And then you got to call back to Scream 2 when Jill gets cut only on her arm, the same way as, what's his name?
The boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think,
Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. Sydney should fucking be rolling with a couple guns, dude. At least.
I know. How stupid. Even after the first murder, you get guns or something. The fact that she's running around in that house completely alone with her aunt and a friend or a cousin or whatever, like, that is just insane. Like, and I guess you have 2 cops outside or something, but...
Well, again, if you're seasoned horror veterans know right away that those cops are going to be nothing but useless and they're both going to get killed. I mean, never once would you think, oh, these guys are going to save the day. You know, they're there for fodder, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They acknowledge that in the film, though. I think that's what's quite funny.
They do.
Their dialogue, and they basically know that, and they go through all the tropes. You know what I mean? If you're, one day from retirement, you're gonna die. If your wife's having a baby, you're gonna die. So, I mean, they go through all that, and they go through all those.
Fuck Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, you're saying like about guns. I'm totally with you on that. See, to me, when Sydney come out of she comes out of Jill's room and that cop's in the shadows and she starts talking freaky, and in real life, she would have had a taser gun or something like that. She would have tased that cop. You were fucking Tiger Lily or whatever. Tase the bitch. You know what I mean? You would not, exactly. You'd be so fucking paranoid about anyone getting close to you at all, especially someone that knows fucking details from when you were at school. Remember, we shared all those classes. Tased. You know,
it's like, what are you, a stalker?
Exactly. You'd be jumpy about it.
Yeah, she's admitting she's a stalker almost. Like, she's like, I'm obsessed with you, Sid. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Some lemon squares.
Yeah, do you want an ass-tasting lemon square? There's like a couple red herrings. Like the one that was so obvious, and it's like he's not a killer because it's just so obvious, is the boyfriend Trevor.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And what's weird about Trevor is he looks exactly like the fucking guy running around with the camera on his head. Like, why would you cast 2 guys that sort of look the same? It's just so weird. We've been coming across movies like crazy like that, like
fucking Saw.
Yeah, like Strom and Hoffman look exactly the same. And then there was another movie that we just talked about.
I know, it's like there are red-headed people in this world. Put some of them on screen, damn it. There are Asian people in this world. Give me some. It's like, give me a reason to be able to tell these people apart.
Yeah, really.
Not more than one Asian, because then I won't be able to tell them apart.
Do you guys think Trevor now this isn't implied, I'm just wondering now, when they get calls from Marty McCurney in the car, the chicks, right? And they're like, why is fucking Marty McCurney calling me, or whatever her name is. They clearly don't like those girls, right? Or they're not like close friends with them, you know what I mean? And that's when Ghostface uses their phone or whatever. What's her name? The blonde with the big tits, with the fucking high GPA or whatever the fuck. She says, is this Trevor? So clearly she knows Trevor, too. Like, did you guys catch that? Because she says it in the beginning. She goes, is this Trevor? You know what I mean? So I wonder if fucking maybe he banged her. You never know, because fucking he cheated on Jill, right? And they were obviously Yeah, I don't know. They never implied that, but I always thought, well, they're all at least like acquaintances. You know what I mean? Like they're not like.
Maybe that's the chick she was talking about, because
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I assume is that's probably the one that's the one that she was referring to that he banged.
Well, fuck, Jamie. I just picked up on it. This movie's been out for years. You just fucking Jamie, it's implied, huh?
Did you hear what I said earlier about my IQ?
I know, I forgot.
Well, now we have to have the discussion. Okay, only for me, Duncan, and Dan. Would you cheat on Jill with the blonde with the big tits and the GPN?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
No, I wouldn't cheat. I don't like cheaters. But I don't think Jill
Yeah,
is hot.
I would. I didn't think Jill was. Especially, she had this freaky thing where at the very end of the film, where like in certain scenes, I know she's all busted up and all the rest, but she has one eye which is clearly.
Oh, yeah.
She has one eye that's clearly bigger than the other, though. It's like freakily bigger.
She always has this look on her face too. Like she just walks. She has like resting bitchy face, and I just don't get it. Like even on the page when guys would talk about how hot she was in this movie, I don't understand it. I don't get it.
I don't think she's overtly hot. I like that look. Like I think she's very pretty.
Yeah, I would still cheat on her, but I would be more discreet about it so I can go back to her.
Right. Exactly.
So that's the only place he messed up. Well, real quick, even speaking, because I was throwing this out there on all over Facebook and places. Are you on Team Jill or Team Sydney? And it was like a joke about like Twilight, Team Jacob, or the other guy. Mm-hmm. So it was just my kind of joke to that. So I think we talked earlier about how Neve Campbell is just not a scream queen, and it's funny because they actually reference that. They say that forget Jamie Lee Curtis, forget Linda Blair, you're the king or you're the queen of this. So that is so weird because no one else on the planet thinks that. I think one thing, the reason that she's not a scream queen, is it just me? Do you guys not connect with this girl? Like, is her character she's so dry and so stiff? And she just has a stick up her ass, really. And I know she's going through something, but...
That was over a year ago. She really needs to get over it now.
Yeah, right? I think it's Neve Campbell, dude, as the actress, to be honest with you.
Is that the problem?
I think so. Because, alright, this is how crazy I was back in the day. You know how you're a fucking little kid or whatever, however old I was when the first Scream came out. My walls were fucking covered in fucking, like, Neve Campbell shit. Because I love Scream so much. But then I realized one day, I'm like... Why the fuck I love the movie. I don't even like this chick that much. Like, for real. Like, so I ripped them all down, dude. My walls went from being plastered with them. Dude, I used to get magazines, right? And fucking, if it was a magazine where there were two pictures on both sides of the same page, I'd photocopy one.
Oh,
and then
my God.
And then put the photo. Well, that has nothing to do with anything other than I'm a fucking dork. But... That's how obsessed I was with Scream back then, and one day I just ripped it all down. I was like, fuck this, dude. I don't care about Neve Campbell, dude. I realized that at a young age, and ever since then, there's a lot of things about Scream that I love, and she's not bad, but I think just as an actress, dude, it sounds like it's always like she's on like a Xanax or something.
She plays exactly the same character in everything she does. I mean, Sydney, like if you watch Party of Five, that was Sydney. If you watch anything else she's ever been in, she has the same mannerisms, the same facial expressions, the same emotions. She's always doing that. She's always doing that, like
the squint.
That yes, and that to the forehead thing. I can't. She does it a lot in the first one, where she's like, and she like shakes her hand, and I mean, but that's Neve Campbell. That's like, I feel like if you met her on the street, she would be exactly the same. I did actually connect with her in the first one. I felt like she was just, an everyday chick. I liked her. By the time, how I feel by the time we got to the third one, I was just like, oh, shut the fuck up already. Stop whining. Right. But then I actually like her again in this one because I feel like when we first meet her, when she is going on her book signing, I feel like she is no longer, wallowing in this whole thing. She seems to have just accepted it and come out the other end a more mature person. I also feel like she matured a little bit as an actress, and I mean she's still the same, but
she's better at being the same.
Well, yeah, I think she is. And I think what happened in this one is that she went back to what was appealing about her in the first one when she was just like an everyday chick. I happen to like, maybe that's because I'm a girl, though. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, it must be it. How about even the character, how cunty she gets? She has a publicist who she hired, and she gets her, like, what sounds like a fucking amazing deal. Like, 3 books, name your price, movie, fucking whatever. Okay, you're fired, get out of my face. And it's like, huh, what the fuck? Like, why are you writing any books? You know, oh, well, because I truly wanted to get over this and the book was away, but I'm not going to make money. Like, honey, you're making money. Remember what you think you're doing. You're doing exactly what the girl wanted to expand upon. Like, no reason to fire her. But it led to, okay, so what do you guys think? Okay, we talked about the first kill. We got the next one. The girl's in the parking garage. I forgot, you know what's weird? As I was watching it, I don't know if I got a text or what. I don't remember why she was in the car but couldn't just start it and leave.
Because he had the keys.
How did he get her keys?
I don't know. I think, didn't he dangle it?
No, I think it. No, did he not? No? Did it not damage the engine? I think he.
Oh, that's right. No, he had an engine part in his fucking hand or something. A wire. Yeah, because she started her. She clicked the button on her car. That's how she found it. Yeah, you're right. Good call, bro. Good call.
Yeah, and going back to Jamie's point of view about the 2 girls in the room, she has a mobile phone in her. She's locked in a car which is safe. She doesn't use a mobile phone to phone the police. Right. Instead, she gets out of the car, which was the safe place, and then walks back up. An empty car park area, only to be stabbed, and you're just like, how fucking stupid is this woman? How fucking stupid are you? It really is.
Yeah, right?
And it's funny because normally you got to make up the old why can't I use my cell phone gag in a movie? And this one, they're just too stupid to use them. There's no answer. There's no actual reason. They're just too stupid.
And I agree with Jamie on something. She said this before. I don't know if she said it on a show or it was just us talking. I forget. But it was one of the best lines, dude, how he calls her again. And she just goes, no. Like she hits the phone. You know what I'm talking about? Like she goes, no. She's like, fuck that. And I like that, dude. I love how she's just like, no, I'm not playing. Fuck you. I'm out. Like I thought that was really good. And it was a very fucking subtle way of doing it. But no.
It's just like we said. Where would these movies be if nobody answered their phones? If like they were just especially Sid. Like she continues to answer the fucking phone.
She answers phones in places where she has no business answering the phone.
Yeah, what are you doing picking up my phone?
You're going to be watching TV one night. I'm kicking back watching the following. There's going to be somebody at my door. It's fucking Sydney. She's like, look, I'm going to answer your phone in like 5 minutes. It's going to ring. You don't know that, but let me answer it.
Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy. That's why in the third film she answers phones for a living.
Yeah, she just loves to answer the phone.
She's found her true calling.
She's like, I did so good at answering phones for the first 2 movies. God damn, I'm gonna get paid for this shit.
Let me put it this way. See if you'd been stalked by a killer who fucking uses phones to threaten you. The last fucking job you would ever want in your entire life is a job where you have to answer the fucking phone. You wouldn't have phones. She's living in the middle of fucking nowhere in that third one, and she's still got a fucking phone. You would not have a phone.
If you in the commentary, I even talk about how we need to see her like going into motels and wheeling the phone out the door, like
yeah, right. She'd be using a fucking carrier pigeon by now.
Yeah, like she would never use a phone again. She'd be like, you know what? Write me a letter.
Yeah, exactly. It's so stupid. It's so funny though. But man, did that lead to a great throwing her off the roof onto the news van? And what's so funny about that, I love this. In Scream movies, they do it really pronouncedly or prevalently, or whatever the word is. Like, Dewey walks up to her and checks her pulse. Dude, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Well, after what happened at the end of Scream 3 with Roman in the coffin, you got to be sure, dude. You can't just assume people are dead, because even if you check their pulse, that means nothing.
Clearly. And I love how they didn't explain that, like he slowed it down for some reason, or, by a drug or something. Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, can I say something about the Alison Brie kill again? It was great when he stabbed her, too, the look that she gives him. I don't know if we talked about this before, but it's really kind of creepy and fucking sad, too. Just how they're, like, face-to-face, dude, and she just kind of, like, looks at... Doesn't she kind of look like Laura Ortiz a little bit from Holliston? A little bit?
A white version, I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, parking... Now, these are both Craven films. So, parking... I'm sorry, this is for you, Duncan. Car park...
Yep.
Killing in Scream 4 versus car park killing in... Fucking Cursed.
Oh, Cursed, dude. Fucking Cursed.
Why did you have to mention Cursed?
I'm sorry.
Cursed is such a mess.
No, it is a mess. It's a total mess. But that's the one scene I really like.
It's the one scene in that film that works. And I quite like this one. I'll tell you why I quite like this one. Is because there's a sense of, especially from the audience point of view, of, this is the thing about what Scream does. As soon as Ghostface, has basically targeted on someone that isn't our main character, that character's going to die, and it's basically a countdown until until that character dies. And I love the fact that, she's running basically right up the empty car park area, and she makes it a lot further than I thought she was going to make. I thought she'd be picked up before. She gets to the door and she reaches for the door and the handle comes off.
Yeah, did he do that?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, but when that handle comes off, you're just like, no, I thought you were fucked before, but you are now. And she turns around and he just comes running straight at her with a knife. And I think that's brilliant. Once again, there's something about killers that, when a killer is running towards you, especially if they're wearing a mask, that to me is, that's what gets me, to jump a bit, is because, most slasher films, the killer doesn't have to run, he can walk, and he seems to be faster than everyone and all the rest. But in the case of this one, the fact that she gets there, she tries to handle it, doesn't work, that was her last hope. She turns around and you just get this merciless kill sequence there, stabbing it, and that to me, that is really effective, and I do like that sequence in Cursed, Jamie, but I might have to go with Scream 4, I'm afraid.
No, that's cool. I mean, I really like this one, too. I like how vicious it is. That's one thing I do enjoy. By the way, if you guys can't tell, my third viewing of this film completely changed my mind. I am... If you noticed, I really haven't said anything bad about it, and that's
you didn't like this back in the day.
No, I didn't. I hated this movie.
That's right.
I hated this movie. It made me sick.
Yeah, me and you used to fight about this. I remember.
But watching it, this is my third time watching it, and I really enjoyed it this time. And part of what I enjoyed about it was the viciousness of these kills. I mean, there's something here. I mean, once again, Ghostface is a bumbling fool falling downstairs and tripping over shit. And I mean, it's the same as far as that goes. But there is a real just like evilness, like it's just mean-spirited, and I can get behind that. And so I think that when he stabs her at that point in the car park, I'm going to be calling it that forever now, but when he stabs her so viciously, I'm like, yes, it was good. And when you were talking, Duncan, about how, a killer running right at you, and to me it kind of reminds me, like, if you've ever been in a car accident where you're sitting at a light and a car is coming up fast behind you and there's nothing you can do about it. You know the impact is coming and there's nothing you can do, but just watch it happen. That's what that reminds me of. It's like she had to see him coming. And at that point, she knew her life was over and there's not a goddamn thing she could do to stop it. And that is...
You can always do something. You could have poked his eye out.
Not in this movie, you can't. She could have stayed in the fucking car.
Yeah, right? I would have just stayed there.
Use the phone!
I would just stay in the car, wait till someone else was getting in their car, and just start screaming to them or running.
Oh, you're trying to tell me Ghostface can't get through a fucking window? Come on.
Yeah, I know. I guess he would have. I don't know.
He did it earlier. Already, so...
Well, I know what put this movie over for Jamie this time around. She really... She glossed over it the first few times, but this time she noticed the Halloween 2 poster, the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 poster in that classroom.
I did notice that, but no, that
did you notice on the back of Jill's door? On the back of Jill's door, she had an American Werewolf in London poster.
Yeah, she did. I was trying to look at the posters. Yeah, because
if you notice, what I think is funny is in the cinema club, they had maybe 2 posters that weren't horror films. Everything else was a horror film. Which, hey, I got no problem with that. I mean,
that would never be in a cinema club.
But if you had a cinema club that was just movies in general in high school, what you would have is like pretentious douchebag bullshit all over the place.
Beautiful Mind.
Right. The only thing that stuck in my head that was not a horror poster was The Green Mile, and that's still Stephen King. So Green it's Mile. So you've still got some horror elements, even though, honestly, I cried through that entire movie. I mean, we're talking 3 solid hours of me bawling. I had to take a nap after I watched that movie.
Story balls.
But never in real life would you see a cinema club in a high school that had nothing but horror posters. That would be my dream high school right there. But anyway,
all the main characters too are into it.
There are a lot of
Trevor too. All
Craven puts a lot of his films in.
If you notice, Kirby has a Suspiria DVD on her.
Oh, shut up! You know how I feel about that. That has not changed. My opinion
hasn't changed.
Not changed.
Jamie doesn't like the pretentiousness or something.
I don't like the fact that he's like, oh, you must be hardcore. You've got Suspiria and Don't Look Now. It's like, oh, yeah, well, she's and then she's like, all right, here's another thing with that. She's like, I will trivia your ass under the table. Then at the end, when Ghostface...
You've said that a few times, but that doesn't make sense because that's known as Argento's masterpiece. Like,
so?
That's like saying Halloween for Carpenter.
Is it Don't Look Now the midget?
No,
the lady
do you
midget?
think I would call her a hardcore horror fan if she had a copy of Halloween? No, I wouldn't.
Well, that's not hardcore, but Suspiria is because it's not. What they're saying is it's not a commercial Big Four
That's
shit.
true, but what they did was they picked the one. They were very careful about the film that they picked. They could have gone way more obscure than that. If they wanted to really touch on true horror fans, on people who know their shit, they would have gone with something other than that.
Yeah, I can see where Jamie's coming from. You would pick if it is like saying, you know, if you're going to pick a director, especially a foreign director, if you're going to say that someone is a hardcore fan, you would pick probably one of their most obscure films. You wouldn't pick the one. I mean, Dario Argento, arguably his biggest film, out with things like Tenebrae maybe to an extent, but his biggest film is Suspiria. It's the one that every fucking horror fan that, you know, looks for films outside their own country, everyone knows fucking Suspiria.
That's
everyone
the one
knows
they're
that film.
walking the line between obscurity and mainstream right there.
Yeah, if they
and
said-
they're doing it very carefully, and it pisses me off because
If they said Cat and Nine Tails or Bird with a Crystal Plumage or something like that as an Argento film, I'd be like, fucking, you know, whoa, you know, that's a serious name drop of a film that not a lot of folk have seen. I can see that.
You guys are
I
missing
can see
something
that.
here. You guys are missing something. Now, don't forget, they're fucking flirting. Now, if I was a dude flirting with a chick, dude, and she's got any horror movie, dude, you goddamn right. I'm gonna
Swing.
use that. Swing is right, dude. Party on, Wayne.
No,
Party
it
on.
pisses me off anyway because she's like, I will, what'd she say? I'll trivia your ass under the table. Then at the end, when Ghostface calls her and he puts her to the test, she's like, no, I'm not the expert, he is. Well, what'd you just say, bitch, a while ago? You would trivia his ass under the table.
Bluffing.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I love these. I love the trivia question as well. So who played the original?
Oh my God!
Leatherface, and I'm like, really? That's your hard question you're going to throw, Mr. Movie Fan Club guy who runs the cinema. That's your question you're going to pick.
This is how he's going to gauge this chick that he's trying to land right here, and he thinks she's such a hardcore horror fan. He's going to throw at her fucking Gunnar Hansen. I mean, come on. I knew the answer to that when I was 7.
Exactly. You should have asked her who played Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 4 with, well, what's her name? Lemonface.
Renee Zellweger.
Leatherface meets Lemonface.
Lemonface.
She gets no cred from me for having a Suspiria DVD. None.
All right, whatever. Okay. So how about, so they're in this film class, like we said, and they're saying, you know, we're going over the same old shit. You know, in every Scream, they gotta go through the rules in every fucking one. You got the second one, the kills gotta be bigger, with Dewey making the faces, and then you got the third one with this asshole giving a videotape of himself. Okay, Sid, so in the third movie, what usually happens is they go back to the first, and then, you know, like, on this one, it's like, it's the same, it's almost annoying, but not really. They did it faster and better, sort of. What do they say?
They say about the next evolution in Psycho Killer, whatever. About we have a videotaping the movie.
But I thought they did that in part 2, though. Didn't the mom videotape
Randy?
Randy, yeah, and they videotape them on the stage making out or whatever.
Yeah, but they did not plan. Like Jill and this dude's plan. Well, actually, Jill's plan was to upload it to the internet. And, you know, I got great fucking shots of my Robbie kill and shit like that. So they're uploading it, and then she's going to be like the victim. So it's going to be like a whole other fucking thing about, you know, like not only was her, you know, her recollection of all the events not questioned, but they got all this video now, and she can fucking say, yeah, I went through this and that, and you know what I mean? Like, there's so much that they thought about in terms of trying to get famous, or Jill thought about trying to get famous, that it's kind of fucked up if you think about, like, she wants to be the victim and
but that was great.
I love it. No, I love it.
Yeah. So now they're having a stab party, and they show stab 1 through 7. Now, let's just get the logistics of this. They start this party at nighttime.
They can't. No, it doesn't work that way.
They start this party at nighttime, Friday night, and you do 7 movies. That I think that's about 10 and 11 hours of stab. I don't think anyone can sit through that except for Jamie, because she does that with Friday the 13th. But
yes, I do.
11 hours. I think everybody would leave by like the middle of the second movie, but okay. So somehow Gail looks like a dork even in a Scream mask. Like, I don't know. She looks like a loser in that mask.
It's all the retro, like, it's obviously she's trying to play herself off as like a teenager, so she puts the mask on. All the hand signals she does are clearly teenager hand signals from the 80s.
The thumbs up.
Thumbs up, you guys rock, these sort of things. It's all just completely out of character. And that's why I think she gets so many second stares from them. They're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Even in the mask, they can tell she doesn't belong.
I hated fucking Gail in this movie, though. Like, I thought everything that her story entailed was just nothing. Like, it just did nothing for me. It did nothing for the story. She was just there trying to, now I'm writing
No, it was all about how Dewey was not including her in now that he's the top shit. Now, so, like, what, we're not a team anymore?
She's gonna set up cameras at a fucking party, though, and then go in her car and then record, here we go. Like, it just seems so contrived, dude. Like, I never thought that I would be in the center of the wizard. Shut the fuck up, dude. Get out of it. Go get some more plastic surgery. Get out of my movie.
She really does have like a serious lip issue in that.
Doesn't she? Dude,
and her eyes.
Yeah.
It's like a mask.
Inbred.
Wrong turn 8. Yeah.
I think
and how about, like, why wouldn't you set the camera that's under the screen up before everybody gets there and watches you do it?
Oh my god, that was
blatantly setting it up.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
Well, fucking Culkin probably saw her do that, and he's like, what is this bitch doing with the camera? That's my gig. That's what I do.
Yeah, it's really weird, but she looks like a dork. She still doesn't fit in, even with a mask on.
Wish they fucking killed her off in this movie, dude. That's one thing, too, about the original 3, Dewey, Gale, and Sydney, dude, about how everybody was, like, speculating that, one of them, 2 of them, if not all fucking 3, were gonna die. And I gotta be honest with you, man, that whole Gale scene, how she got stabbed and stuff, now, it was a good sequence of events, I liked it, but, I don't know, man, she fucking rolled off into a bale of hay.
Yeah. That dude was kneeling over her. He had every opportunity to stab her straight in the heart, and instead he hit her in the fucking shoulder. There's no excuse. None.
Well, wasn't he shot at when he stabbed her, though? So maybe he was just thrown off.
No, I don't know.
It was the chick too. You got to remember, it was Jill.
It was Jill that was doing.
So her aim is bad because she's a girl.
They trip over couches. They stab in the fucking shoulder.
Wait a minute.
Dewey's aim with his gun's ridiculous for a sheriff. He can't fucking shoot or shit.
Yeah, I thought I was watching a Police Academy movie.
Citizens on Patrol, no less too.
Was Jill at that party, or was
because Culkin was introducing the movie.
But then he dipped off, though.
No, but it was almost instantly that.
Okay. Yeah, because that leads to because that's what I was going to say. They never had a conversation, nor did they really have time to converse that, or him let her know that she stabbed her in the shoulder, which actually gave Jill away in the end.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, so Jill was the only one.
It had to have been. You're right. Yep.
There's a plot hole there. If Jill's at the barn and she stabs Gail, how does she then get back to her house to get the message on her computer to say to go and pick up Kirby?
Do you think the instant messenger could be linked to a phone? No, that doesn't happen in real life. But
I don't know. That wouldn't make any sense to me that she would run all the way. She would run all the way back. She'd have time to go onto her computer, get a message from Kirby to say, come and pick me up, then go back and pick her up and take her back to the house. I never thought of that until you mentioned it. There you go.
Well, no, actually, do you think she meant to do that to try and get Sydney there? Because that was her plan, was to get her to Kirby's house, right? So do you think maybe like that she just fucking put in that Kirby wrote that?
Maybe she wrote on her computer. Yeah.
I'm just drawing.
He also could have told her that he stabbed her in the shoulder, like, hey, did you get Gail? Well, yeah, kind of, but I just stabbed her in the shoulder. I mean, that could have happened.
It could have. It could have.
I guess the link here is, was it Culkin or Jill? So if there's a plot hole, we might have to just say Culkin just to fill it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so we get to the two cops getting killed. It was all right. It was what it was. But the whole thing I didn't like, and I remember not liking it in the theater. It just takes me out. Some one-liners are just
oh my goodness.
Fuck Bruce Willis.
Fuck Bruce Willis. And look, like he has a knife 3 inches into his skull and his brain. I don't think that you would even have the sense to hold your head if it was bleeding, or get out of a car, or crack a joke before you die.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty much done. Your brain just shuts off at that point, right?
Yeah.
Why is he even walking around? I mean, that's enough to take down a zombie.
Well, Wes Craven on the commentary automatically defends it, dude, and says that he's seen this in real life. So he knows that it's a stretch already, but he's fucking Wes Craven, dude. I mean, if that's the worst thing, and you look at, Scream 4 compared to fucking, that last debacle we had.
Dude, no. This movie is epic compared to...
Right.
You guys aren't going to agree with me. Wait till you see how I rank these movies. You're going to be shocked.
I think the thing is as well, Craven in general. I mean, I recently did a kind of not a retrospective as such, but we looked at all these films. If you look at Wes Craven's films, pretty much every single one of them is dogged with some level of goofy humour that doesn't quite work. All of them have this one element in it, which even if you're going back to like Last House on the Left, with the cops who are just goofy, weird characters that don't make sense. You know what I mean? He's always had that, and I think it's because he's always had this desire that I think he genuinely thinks
he's a comedian.
Yeah, he can write comedy. I think it's something he's always wanted to do. The only comedy he ever wrote was Vampire in Brooklyn, and we all saw how that turned out. So I think he genuinely puts these things in because, and you got to remember, he's fucking 80 when he made this film or something like that. So to him, I think he's probably sitting there. Oh, the kids love the one-liners. Let's put a one-liner in there.
Yeah, right.
And to be honest with you, I just don't. It's not funny. It's not relevant. It would have made more sense if he'd said, fuck Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. Who the fuck is watching Bruce Willis movies anymore?
No, they referenced it earlier. They say fucking all the cops die in movies unless you're Bruce Willis. That's what that's referred to.
But still, but who even knows who Bruce Willis is?
Oh, everybody in the world but you.
No, I'm not saying I don't know who that is, but what I'm saying is, like we talked earlier about Arnold, like these kids don't give a fuck about Arnold anymore. What kids going to see Scream 4 know Bruce Willis? Like, what 16-year-old girl knows who the fuck they're talking about?
I don't know, man. I just think Bruce Willis is a household name even today. I mean, I don't know.
I can't figure out why he's a star yet.
Oh, fuck Bruce Willis. Literally, though. Seriously. Like, Bruce Willis is the biggest dickhead in the fucking world, dude.
And I love Bruce Willis. Watch it. I'm just kidding.
No, fuck him, dude. He's a fucking prick, dude.
I would rather watch the poor man's Bruce Willis, John Statham, any day.
I listened to fucking Kevin Smith talk about his experience.
Oh, Jason Statham. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is either.
Duncan, are you having fun?
This is fucking awesome.
He's like, how do people download this? The one hilarious part, though, is when the Sydney's aunt gets stabbed through the mailbox.
Yeah.
And she says, I'm sorry to Sid, like, you're sorry.
Didn't she say, tell Jill I'm sorry?
Yeah, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. What exactly did you do that you need to be sorry for? I don't.
Have been fucking
Who is she? Who is she anyway? I mean, she's her mother's
sister. Yeah, the whore sister.
Yeah, this is that outcast of the family and all the rest. And we've had in the very first Scream, we're celebrating the 1 year. Well, we're not celebrating. We're commemorating the 1 year anniversary of her fucking sister dying. She's not in the film. No sign of her. She never gets mentioned as this. I hate these how they shoot. Yeah. And Scream 3 has the worst one. I'm your half brother. Fuck off. Fuck off, you guy.
He orchestrated everything in one too.
Oh yeah. Right. I'm a criminal mastermind. Right. He's not a fucking Bond villain, right? This is basically, and I hate the fact that they feel the need to shoehorn in. But I tell you, the thing that shocks me the most is that she's actually in this film because she's the only parent in this film. None of the kids have any parents at all. You know what I mean? Right. They're all away with their boyfriend. They're fucking somewhere else. There's no parents in this film at all. It's just teenagers running amok.
Yeah, they had to put some parent, and they said, well, let's do a callback parent. Let's make her the sister. Like, what do we care? Like, well, we don't even care that you're her sister. Like, it's just a weird callback, you know? Like,
twice. She's got 2 scenes. She's got a very quick scene where she's resentful about the
shopping.
Yeah, and then the second scene, she's shopping, where she gets stabbed at the end of that scene. You're like 2 scenes in the film. Your total screen time is less than 5 minutes, and you're going to say, "Oh, tell Jill I'm sorry." No, you've not earned the right to say that. Die in silence.
You don't get a last line. You
die in silence.
Yeah, right? You're right, Jamie. She doesn't even deserve a last line. You're right. Yeah. And I thought her whole character was weird, though. Like you said, well, I have scars, too. And she's just like, oh, sorry, Miss Roberts. Like, what the fuck, dude? She's a weirdo. Like, I don't even get it. Like, I don't understand that whole character.
Well, she was jealous that she didn't get the attention. Like, you know, I have blah, 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 too. Like, so.
I get it, but why? Exactly. Like, why put that in the movie? I just don't understand. Other than to move the story along when you know, and right after that, Hicks comes and fucking Sydney takes off and then, you know, she tells Dewey, you know, fucking she took her off.
It goes some way to explaining why Jill's grown up the way she has, because her mother resents her sister and Jill resents Sydney. So you can kind of, that. It kind of, but the point is, though, they don't develop it enough for you to get that. One conversation where she's saying, I've got scars too, is not to justify the fact that when you find out that Jill's a killer at the end, she's a complete fucking psycho. You know what I mean? It doesn't justify it enough, in my eyes anyway. It's just like they've kind of said, well, you know, Jill's obviously, she's been cheated on, she's this weird, I know we're jumping ahead, sorry, but she's been cheated on, she's a weird character, you know, and this is why she's done all the things she's done. It seems like a bit of a stretch, but if her mother's being jealous of the family, then maybe we can stretch onto that, and I just think it's flimsy.
Well, you know what? I think it's great because I didn't even know that till you said that. I didn't even realize it. So now that you said it, I think it's even better.
Actually, me too, man. I never thought of that. You're right, dude.
Now I like it more, so now it does work. Thank you.
I want to do a callback to the scene of Sydney and Jill in Jill's bedroom when she's just like, nothing, you remind me of me. And the look that Jill gives her back. Now, it could go either way where she's just kind of, you know, giving a little smirk, but that's everything Jill wants, dude. Like, that to her, she probably fucking had to go change her panties after that. Like, it was fucking... That scene I love watching, dude, because I was like, oh shit, that fucking psycho just got what she wanted. Oh snap, son. And you're right about the mother, dude. I never ever thought of that. Good call.
Awesome, dude. That was really good. Now we get, okay, so that Stabathon is over. It's cut short because, you know, he's shooting in there, so they, you know, everyone's done.
Get out of the way, you idiots! Or you morons, he says.
Yeah, you morons. You're all a bunch of just dumb random
fucking morons.
So now they're hanging out in Kirby's house, and I'm sorry, but Kirby and the other chick, I guess, was it just Jill? Yeah, it had to be. We know why with Jill, but Kirby got over Olivia's death really quickly. I mean, like, these people are hanging out watching, like, Stab 4 and say, that's one of her favorite movies. Put it on. Like, shit, your best friend just got butchered, like, a day ago, or maybe earlier, I don't even know when. And you're just, like, chilling on the couch, hooking up with this ugly freak and watching Stabathon movies.
Nobody interrupts his Stabathon.
Right. And what stab did they put on now? 6, was it? Or 5 or 6? I forget.
I thought it was 7.
Now, that implies that they're at 7 now, which is the last one, which means the party fucking started at 8 in the morning. What? You know, right?
Wait, you know, they must have skipped 2 through 6. No, you know what? It is 7 because...
Oh, right.
Because they show the thing that we saw in the beginning in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe they just chose it because it was Olivia's favorite.
And what's he thinking anyway? Kirby is, horror fan or no, she is way out of his league.
Supermodel with a monster, man.
Totally, dude. Yep.
It is so bizarre. Like, I don't know if it makes me like Kirby more or be disgusted because I know I could get her. If this guy's okay.
Think about the Randy references, like, oh, she's the female Randy, or, you know, Culkin is a knockoff Randy. I don't even look at it that way. I see similarities, but at the same time, dude, these are fucking their own characters. I don't buy it.
In a way, they are their own characters, but at the same time, this whole film is, is making a statement about remakes and reboots, and so the whole idea is that this is a reboot of the original whatever was happening. So you do basically have matches for each character that we had in the first one. So
who's Robbie Mercer then? I don't get it.
It's the bring over scenes as well, though. I think that's the thing. That's why there's, like you were talking about, it's like when you watch Halloween, right? You watch Rob Zombie's Halloween, and you get elements from, you obviously get the Rob Zombie bits that he put in, but you get elements from Halloween and Halloween 2 meshed into one. When you watch Scream 4, you get specific things which were in Scream and like certain elements of Scream 2. Alex already touched on the fact that Jill gets cut in her arm, which harks back to Scream 2. You get Culkin's character being tied up to the chair.
In the chair.
Yeah, you've got the boyfriend Trevor who comes in through the window. The whole point, even down to that line, you don't fuck with the original at the end. Craven kind of, it's his statement about horror remakes, which, to be honest, I think is quite funny because he's involved in quite a lot of his own remakes. But anyway, I think you've that ship sailed, my friend. But so that's why you're getting specific characters, and I've got written here that Culkin's character is Randy Mark version 2.0 because he has the same sort of dialogue rants, is the same sort of idea, except what they've done is they invert the character. So where Randy's he's the social outcast, no friends and all the rest, this Randy is, in charge of a fucking, a group of, like, people that are all interested in movies, and he's the cool guy. And his friend is the geeks in this film are the cool people.
And he's hooking up with two of the hottest chicks in the fucking movie.
So I mean, they changed the elements about. So it is like exactly like Jamie says. This film is basically, I mean, that's what they said. Craven's idea at the start here, when he did Scream 4, was to reboot the franchise for a further 3 films. He was going to do the trilogy again.
Yeah, basically. I know.
Going to cover it all the way right through it, and I'm cool with that, right? And for point, the characters match up with characters that you've already seen in the first film or the second film, and the plot points right through it all follow similar ideas, and it harks once again right back to what you were saying at the start, where the girl is having the conversation, it's with Trevor on the phone, and the insinuation is that herself and Trevor have had a relationship. Drew Barrymore's character and Lizard's character,
Steve.
Steve hinted at that they've had something together, and that's why she was the first kill. It's the same plot points all through.
Steve was her current boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the same plot points all the way through the film. But they tweak them all the way through the film because it's a reboot, and in a reboot, you get elements which are similar from the original but different ultimately.
They even say, well, Randy, why are you even here? You'll never get the girl. And in this one, he gets 2 chicks.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Randy gets, and he even said, in this time, I get the girl. Even when he kisses Jill, he says that.
No, he didn't, though, dude. He didn't get the girl, Doug. She was playing him.
But still, it was Randy, though, because he said, because this time he gets the girl, which he's referring to Randy.
Yeah, but don't you think it's both of those characters, both fucking Culkin and Kirby, are both kind of the Randy characters? Just the
I mean, it's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're sort of an amalgamation.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a good word, Jamie. Good draw. Nice, dude.
I still don't know what it means, but
I don't know either. It sounded cool.
Jamie dropping some English skill.
Yeah.
The guy with the camera on his head, he gets killed.
I hate that kill, by the way, dude. Such a waste of the whole camera fucking trickery.
Yeah. Upside down, backwards thing. Yeah, that was a waste, I think.
Yeah, because he looks into his phone and sees that, hey, right in front of me is this thing, and he puts his phone down and it's there. So, I don't know. So but there is a legendary line. Like when he gets killed, he gets stabbed once, he gets stabbed again, and he goes, wait, the rules. He goes, I'm gay, and then the Scream guy just stops. Yeah, he pauses and goes, if it helps, and he just says, nah.
Doesn't he do a head tilt?
Yeah, he does that Scooby-Doo or Sony Dog head tilt.
He does that too when Anthony Anderson is fucking fighting the wind. He just does a little head tilt, like, what the fuck? I thought I just stabbed you in the head, fool.
Yeah, and the whole scene, the whole ending, once he kills that guy, then you get to the Penetaire part, and she runs off all the remakes. I don't know how she even has that shit in her head, and I don't even know how, if you answer a question with every fucking answer that's the right answer. It's like saying...
That's like... Right.
Yeah, you get one guess. That bitch was dead regardless.
Yeah, it's like, Alex, what is 4 plus 5? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... That's right! Oh shit, I'm right. I knew it. God damn it. You know, like, how do you answer a question like that? That's so bizarre.
I've always tried to figure out what movie he was talking about, too. I'm like...
he never tells her. He never tells her, which is annoying as fuck.
Groundbreaking.
Oh, thank you. He doesn't even get to finish the fucking question. I'm like, I might have been able to answer that question, asshole. Thank you for coming in with no real answer.
She was wrong anyway, because she said Amityville, and there was no slasher and groundbreaking thing there.
I said, as much as I love Amityville, there was nothing groundbreaking about that film.
Right. Yep.
But it was a remake. She was just naming off every single remake, you know.
Yeah.
And I do have to give her a little bit of cred for being able to roll off the remakes as quickly as she did, including, you know, things like, you know, Prom Night, which was something no one saw.
Oh,
and,
I own it. Oh
God, that movie is shit. What are you talking about?
Jamie, it's Prom Night Revisited.
Oh my
God damn it! There is a prom and it takes place at night. That is the only thing that it has in common with the original film. But
here's a gigantic plot hole in a way, and I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but I did. Normally I don't think about this stuff. See, somebody calls the cops. Oh, like Sid or
she calls Dewey. She's like, Dewey, I'm at Kirby's. He's
right,
like,
yeah, right. It takes them about 45 minutes to get there. Like, you go through the whole thing, she runs off all the names, this guy's tied up in the back, she gets stabbed, then you got the chase, then you got this one.
That would never happen in a rich white neighborhood.
Right, exactly.
It would never take that long.
Literally, the whole explanation, them stabbing each other, the thing with Nev and Jill talking, and then Jill hurting herself, all that takes place while they're going there.
I love how in Scary Movie she types in white girl in trouble and then the cops just fucking come barreling around the corner, dude.
Yeah, man. But how about this? So let's talk about this now. So fucking Charlie kills Kirby. Are you on fucking drugs, dude?
Yeah, that's so retarded. If you nailed a piece of ass that was that far out of your league, are you then going to kill her? No. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all.
The only justification is that he thought he was going to tap Jill.
And get famous.
Yeah, but I don't know. She's much hotter than Jill anyway. So.
I agree, but what's better, okay? Fucking Emma Roberts and fame, or just Kirby? Like, that's what I'm not posing. I can't choose. I'd probably fucking choose Kirby anyways. But you know what I mean?
Still,
like,
at that moment, I'd choose Kirby anyway.
And there was so much going into that, and he even says, he goes, "Fucking, why you? I forget what the line is, but he's basically like, "Fucking, you gotta fucking do this now, bitch." Like,
he's like,
fuck.
4 years of school together, and you're just now noticing me.
Yeah, exactly.
But he just saw that he has a kindred spirit in her. I mean, fuck, she knew who Gunnar Hansen was.
Right? Yeah.
I wouldn't care if she took 20 years to recognize me, man. She's fucking here today, so. So Charlie and the cousin, those are the killers.
I was genuinely okay. First of all, and I know this from the commentary. I didn't necessarily pick up on this, but you really watch it, and it's good. When Sydney and Jill are trying to get away from the killer, and she tells Jill get under the bed, and then she tricks the killer into thinking fucking Jill got away. If you watch Jill's fucking expression, it's basically the expression of whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and you wouldn't really pick up on it. It's not like roll her eyes or anything. She don't look fucking scared when the killer's walking by when she's under that bed. She just doesn't. Like, she's just chilling.
Well,
she's straight chilling.
I have to say, I was not one bit surprised at who the killers were in this film.
I was.
Like, not in the least.
Dude, I didn't. Okay, Culkin.
Maybe Culkin, but not
Jill.
Jill.
But Jill, dude, I was genuinely shocked. I was like, "What, dude?"
I mean, it makes sense. It makes total sense. I don't.
Now.
Jamie,
I mean,
my brain doesn't make sense.
What?
So I said my brain doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So I wouldn't catch that.
But Jamie, not the first go around. It don't make sense. And once you
it does.
Talk about it and realize the ant thing. Oh, get out of here!
I called it. She says.
I called that shit.
I did. To me, I mean, all right. Think about it.
Claimed.
If she's supposed to be the Nev Campbell, then why would she be the killer? So
she's not. I never thought that she wants to be the Nev Campbell, but it's I never thought we were replacing Nev Campbell here. I honestly don't think. I don't think that the three, like between Dewey and Gail, who by the way comes out of retirement more than Michael Jordan, and Nev Campbell, I think as long as there's a Scream series, those characters are going to be around. Yeah. And they are like the the meat and potatoes of it. I never looked at her as a replacement. What I did look at her as is an obvious choice to be a killer, because it's now they're bringing it home. Now it's, you know,
they're bringing it back.
That's the one you would not expect it to be, because it's her family member. Well,
and it continues that family storyline too. It's always been about family in these movies.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I just didn't think it was personally surprising, but I also didn't think Jill pulled it off very well. I mean, to me, she never seems... she never seems believable.
Get out of here.
Well, as a victim in this, you know, plus I'm just...
I think you're thinking too much.
Well, that's what I did.
She's got a fucking IQ of 1 million.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I forgot.
Well, that's not the point. That's the whole point of watching movies is to.
Yeah, but thinking like that, that's like taking the steam out of it or something.
I don't know. Duncan, what do you think? Do you think it was surprising?
Well, I'd kind of... When I watched it the first time, I guessed that it was going to be her just by the point that they'd actually got to the house, you know, where she goes... Trevor says that he hasn't sent her a text message, and she goes out to get her phone, and then crazy shit starts to happen, and I'm like, she seems to be out of screen quite a lot when all these killings start happening. So then I also thought, you know, if you're going to update this again and you're going to push it forward, then the obvious choice for me is to make what we've been pegging as our main character, like our replacement Sydney, all the way through, is to do the ultimate, you know, twist would be to turn her. So I did pick up on that. The thing that I got, my big gripe, and we're kind of touching on the ending now, which is kind of my big gripe is not with this part of the ending. It's what comes after this.
Right, the hospital.
I dig the way this goes, and I don't think she's not the most convincing actress, but we've just went through a period of time saying we didn't really connect with Neve Campbell's character either earlier on, so I'm not going to get hung up on that as much, but I quite liked the way they played it all off, and the fact that she, although it's not cool to shoot a man in the cock with a gun, right? Just putting that out there.
That's ruthless.
Not cool.
Who's going to believe that all right, first of all, if you shoot a guy in the cock, that's not just, you're not trying to kill him. You're trying to hurt him, and you're trying to do it very purposefully. So I think it's fairly obvious that, I mean, she basically just signed her name on his corpse by doing that.
Yeah, you think so?
Also, do they think no one's going to know? Don't they ever watch CSI? Do they think no one's ever going to notice the tape residue that's going to be around his pants and his sleeves?
But it's not even that, Jamie. This is another thing, and it's because it's because as horror fans we start to dissect things to a level we probably, you know, most people probably wouldn't. But she wipes the knife down, but doesn't put the knife in his hand, so there's no prints on that knife now, right? She just drops it beside him. He's not wearing a pair of gloves.
The glove don't fit. I'm showing you, man.
Well, and she scratches her face with his fingernails when typically...
Great idea.
Except she would also have his skin under her nails if she had any kind of...
Maybe she grabbed his shirt.
She should scratch him, and because they always look under... when they look at the dead bodies, they always look under the dead body's fingernails. They don't look under the killer's... that's just my thing. It's like, and plus she scarred her face. That was kind of dumb.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Didn't she want everybody to think that she shot him, though? Like, she killed the killer?
Yeah, but if someone's coming after you to kill you, you're not going to take the time to shoot him in the dick before you try to hit him with the leveling shot. You're trying to save his life.
That's a personal shot.
When she did that, I loved her when she did that, man.
that's that sort of thing to me. Especially when you look at, like, crimes of passion in general, that's the area women tend to go for.
Yes,
right. So that's not where you would shoot him first if he was coming at you with a knife. You would shoot him where she logically shot him, which was in the head. Then, if we look at that, then she's then shot him a second time in the cock after he's died. Which to me, why has she done that? And like I say, she wipes down the knife after like pulling the hair out and all the rest. And like you say, there's residue which would be checked on the body from the tape that she's used. I mean, they would look at all these things anyway, and it gets. But once again, the Scream franchise has had this thing, and I don't know if you guys talked about it. I remember listening to your first one, but I don't know if you've ever touched on the fact that when they bring Sydney's dad out and they kneel him down and they put the clone phone and the voice thing into his pocket, it's Stu that's done that, so his fingerprints are all over fucking them.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the prints. But we said if we were killers, we would never hold the stuff in our shirt pockets.
Of course you fucking wouldn't, and you wouldn't. You said, yeah, it's just, you know, it's these sort of things. So you get this thing as well. She sets it up, and she's obviously, but then you've got to think about it from the point of view that she's only a teenager. So everything she's learned, I'm assuming, is from movies. It's
CSI Miami.
And she knows Dewey's the fucking sheriff. She's like, this motherfucker's not smart enough.
She knows he's a fucking goof off. He ain't gonna figure out that he has tape on his ankles.
Well, hell, it took his own damn wife for him to realize that she shouldn't have known about the stab in the shoulder. Yeah. He was like, and he's like, he does like a virtual face palm, and he's like, oh no, I just
he got a kick out of it. He's like, hey. She says that you should write a book together because you got the matching shoulder injury. And he's like, dumbass, how does she know that? Oh, fuck.
I actually like that, though. I thought that was good because, let's face it, guys, this is the first time that any of the three Scream characters have actually figured something out, as opposed to just unmasking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, you know, I'm a killer, motherfucker. They figured it out, dude. Good for her. Good for them. She's gonna make a lot of money off of that book. But I know what you're saying about the party scene. That everybody says that's where it should have ended. Yes, and how they added on with the hospital scene. Now, there's a lot of problems with the hospital scene, dude. Yeah. First of all, okay, all the shit goes down, and when the shit goes down, you better be ready. Thank you.
The only thing I thought was bad was the noise she made when trying to kill Sid. Other than that,
yeah, I'm like, if you want to discreetly kill someone in a hospital room, it is not advisable to go in and attack them like you're fucking Hulk Hogan
and throw them against
tear the room
windows
apart.
And shit. Yeah,
no one will ever notice.
I didn't like. Okay. First of all, the hospital scene is what it is, and you know, clearly Jill's a fucking psycho, dude, because she's not gonna get away with it at this point. But she's gonna fucking she's a fucking psycho, dude. She's gonna kill all these people in the hospital and try and play it off like what's your where's your angle now? You know
but
what I mean?
Dude, you gotta remember, what else is she gonna do? Like, you have to kill Sid.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So the only thing you could really mention is, why the fuck didn't you make sure she was dead in the fucking kitchen?
No, which I thought she was dead, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But wouldn't you make sure?
Yeah, the ones she's all the way through the film, everyone else has been stabbed to shit. That girl in her room got fucking her insides cut out.
You jump through tables and shit, and you don't make sure this bitch is dead?
Yeah, you need to kill Sydney, or you need to kill fucking Gail, like we mentioned earlier on, and you stab one in the shoulder and the other one in the stomach, and then just let them fall to the ground. When everyone else has taken multiple stabs and they've survived, you know, to a point where they've had to literally had bits cut out them, she gets one stab into her, and that's totally right, Alex.
She got two, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, she gets two. If you've pinned your whole thing on the fact that you're the sole survivor. I mean, even the fucking Culkin got stabbed in the heart. There's no coming back from that. You know what I mean?
No,
I mean that. Yeah, if you're going to pick holes in the fact that, I think the fact that she goes crazy in the hospital is the fact that she's grown up with all these stories that basically her cousin's pretty much invincible. And when she finally does what no one else has done in any of the other Scream films, which is basically set out the perfect plan and pretty much get away with it.
Yeah, perfect.
Our cousin's still alive. And it's the frustration, I think, that kicks in more than anything. Is, you know, what's it going to take to kill fucking Sydney?
I do love when she. I did, to go back for 1 second. I do love where Jill beats herself up. I think that's hilarious when she slams into the picture and then she throws herself on the table, and you know that is pretty funny.
Hilarious.
It's straight out of Fight Club, dude. I love that fucking scene, dude, and it shows you how far she'll go. But here's what I don't like about the hospital scene. Okay, it's not like it ruins it for me, but here's one scene, and then I'll get into the big fucking thing. Okay, Deputy Hicks comes in, right? She saves Gail, kinda. She fucking, protects her by the bed or whatever, which, okay, fine, whatever. And then she gets shot, and then, and I love how Dewey gets fucking whacked in the head by a bedpan like 3 times. I love that, dude. I thought that was great. The thing I didn't like about it was fucking the stupid ass line. Like, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. First of all, when fucking, like you said, don't fuck with the original, and I didn't like the whole. I didn't like that setup, though. I'm not in love with Gail saying clear. And she's like, clear? Yeah, clear, bitch. Boom.
Yeah, you saw that coming, too. I mean,
totally. And I'll get back to that, too, of killing off Jill and that whole thing. But I didn't like how Deputy Hicks, Hicks, you're still alive? Wear the vest, save your chest, or whatever the fuck it is. And then she just drops like a fucking cartoon, dude.
Yeah.
That pissed me off so bad. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Well, because it knocks you out. It takes the wind out of you.
Oh, please, dude. That's fucking retarded.
It's still fucking hurts.
But you're going to say a stupid-ass line before it happened? Oh, we're the best singers?
She falls,
Dude,
she falls
we
in a
just saw
comical
earlier in this movie where a guy got stabbed in the fucking head and had time to say a line, so I guess they figure anything goes.
I know.
It's the same as Craven. As Craven again doing his kind of slapstick sort of, his interpretation of comedy is the fact that she delivers that line and then she faints in a overly exaggerated comical fashion.
Exactly. And that wasn't the biggest problem. And there's also a scene after where they kind of, had to make it all kind of fucking, where, oh, you guys should write your book together, Gail and Sydney, and they're all laughing and it's fucking, whatever. That's not a big gripe, but it's just, whatever. What's
the problem, though? You're not mentioning
Okay, I'll tell you. And I've told you this before, Alex. My main fucking problem is the fucking studio stepped in, dude. They changed Williamson's script. They changed fucking everything, and they made this movie, what should have been a trilogy, they basically fucking made no room for a trilogy. Now, technically, Kirby could still be alive, yes. How they were going to do this was like this, okay? From what I understand, they were going to let Jill get away with it, right? We leave the film kind of like the last line, like, Jill, an all-American hero, like that kind of weird line. That kind of encapsulated what the ending was going to be, which was Jill gets away with it. And then fucking in the next ones, it sets her up where she does get caught and she goes to jail and stuff like that. And then she has a following, so to speak, and she has people fucking. I don't know how they plan on working it out, but fucking that basically somebody picked up the torch because they liked what Jill did or whatever. They didn't do that, and then that's why Williamson wrote The Following, which has Nico, whatever his name is, fucking the boyfriend there in the show, which I thought was cool. But that's what The Following came out of, which was Williamson fucking basically saying this was going to be my Scream story, and they fucking fucked it all up. They killed Jill. They killed her off. Like in the original Scream 4, she got away with it, dude, which I thought would have been a fucking ridiculously good ending. And then
I would like that.
Setting up 2 more fucking sequels, and that's the way it should be. And I don't know what the third one, I don't know what the second one entails, but just those facts that she was supposed to get away with it and this, that, and then they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna kill everyone, fucking pretty much. And granted, like I said, they could have brought Kirby back because she wasn't dead, she was still breathing in the last scene. But it just seems so fuc't.
Yeah, my particular thing with this is, right, you basically get. And the sequence in the house, you get what we've referred to, I think, as the kind of Scooby-Doo ending, where our character basically explains in full, basically what they've done the whole thing for, and they do that in every film, right? So we get that whole bit of explanation, right? And then, she obviously, she thinks she kills Sydney and she goes out. Then we go to this hospital sequence, and this film, you're talking about your previous one being quite long. This film's like an hour and 50 minutes long or something.
Yeah. It didn't feel like it.
Which is quite long for a horror film, but you get this, to me, that whole sequence in the hospital, and I didn't know anything about what Dan was saying, feels tagged on, and it just seems, it doesn't seem in keeping with the Scream franchise. You've got Jill, who's been stabbed in the shoulder, who, she's been taken to hospital, all the rest, yet she can go through, attack Sydney, and fucking throw her through a glass cabinet with no problem with her shoulder at all, which makes no fucking sense, right? She's got this injury, she's kicked her own ass, basically, right? But all of a sudden, there's nothing wrong with her. She's like fucking Superwoman, like throwing Sydney, who's clearly bigger and heavier and stronger than her, about the place, as if she's a fucking rag doll. So you've got that.
Sydney was touch and go just 5 minutes ago, according to Dewey, and now she's all like the Punisher.
Exactly. Yeah, she's getting punched in the stomach. Her stitches have ripped open and all the rest. All these things. So you get that, right? You then get the, like we were talking about, the obvious fucking, classic Dewey moment where he doesn't realise the bit that's been blatantly staring him in the front, in front of his face all the way through it. But to me, the biggest feeling about this film is the fact that, and I know we're talking about the Scream world is basically, Sydney, Dewey, and Gail. The biggest crime of this film is that one of the main characters doesn't get killed off.
Yes.
To me, that's how you progress the trilogy. You take, and I'm not saying they have to be as ballsy and take out Sydney, although that, to be honest with you, is what I would have done. Yeah, it takes Sydney out of the equation, and if my memory serves, the way this film was advertised, to an extent, there was the kind of hint that was what was going to happen, was Sydney was going to get taken out of this movie, and we're basically going to follow a brand new set of characters forward for the next 3 films. That's what Craven said he was going to do. Yeah. So what we get is this ending, which is a fucking brilliant ending. Basically, the niece has manipulated everything. She's fucking done everything. She's going to be an American hero. She's going to be on front. She's going to be everything that Sydney couldn't be, because she's going to be a survivor who relishes the fact that she's a survivor as opposed to shunning it like Sydney did. So she's going to be one for the new generation and all the rest. And you set up that brilliant ending, and then you tag on this bit in a hospital at the end, which just feels forced and just... Right. To me, it's like Dan says, it kills the opportunity to move it forward. You cannot move that story forward now. No. The next film, Scream 5, is basically going to be like Scream 4. It's going to be a standalone entity where Sydney's going to appear at a place, well, people are going to start dying, and, and then this thing's... Unless they decide not to put Sydney in it, at which case you're going to have fans saying, what the fuck happened to Sydney? They ruined their opportunity with the film, and that's what I hate about this film more than anything. And I enjoy it. I do enjoy this film, and we'll get to our rankings at the end, but I think that the cardinal crime of this film is the fact that those last 15 minutes in the hospital are completely unnecessary. Yep. They don't need to be. They could have done a kind of reversal of the scenario where Sydney's been stabbed and all the rest, and they always say that thing, well, they always come back, and Sydney could have got up and then attacked Jill at the end or whatever and done something there, and I would have appreciated that ending more than let's tag it to the hospital. And even then, that seems forced. The whole sequence, and the cop faints and Dewey's alright and Gail's okay and we're all going to live happily ever after. No, I just feel that last 15 minutes is completely unnecessary.
Duncan, now let me ask you a question
about Dan's things.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. Please go ahead.
No. I was saying that was before I knew about the whole Kevin Williamson thing, and that following idea on Scream. I can see what you're saying now when I'm doing that show. That, to me, that Scream 5, if it was Jill's been locked up and she's got people doing the killings for her, that would be fucking awesome. Right. I would love to see that film.
Yeah, and dude, and that's the thing, like, okay, so clearly they made a decision, and they even say it, this should have ended at the party. Like, they say it. So they're very conscious of the fact that they are trying to, like, they even say, oh, where does it go next? A party. Like, they know all the steps, so clearly the hospital scene was intentional. I just think it was a bad step, and it was a bad step in terms of setting up the future sequels, and like you said, you're right, dude, that whole 15 minutes or whatever the fuck it was, dude, I was sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was intrigued, like, what's going to happen? But I was like, this is so unnecessary, dude. Now, granted, I do like the ending. It's not the best ending. And like I said, the potential of possible sequels with that original ending, that's what enrages me, I guess, is the potential for fucking greatness. And they just kind of said, no, we got to wrap this up. We gotta fucking wrap up every storyline and all this and all that. And I don't know, like you said, it's got to start over in Scream 5. And who are they going to follow? Kirby in the next one if they decide to fucking pick up and assuming she's still alive even. They didn't leave one character alive in this, dude. Not one, except possibly, like I said, Kirby. But everybody's dead, and they killed everybody.
Except for the main characters that I really think they pushed out, and they're afraid to get rid of one of these 3 characters because they're afraid of backlash. I mean, if these characters have been through. One of the hallmarks of this franchise is that they've had several of the same characters throughout the entire franchise, and which I actually happen to appreciate that fact, that there is no other franchise out there where you see the exact same characters all the way through this many films. So, I mean, that's a good thing, except that it also, if they continue with that, then you get to the mindset where, well, they're not going to kill them. Never once did I fear for Sydney's life. I should have. I should have had that in my brain, but never once was I afraid that she was going to die. Never once did I think that Gail was going to die. I mean, the stab to the shoulder, not a surprise, because she's like the friggin' Energizer Bunny, and it's just because
you got more lives than a cat, Gail.
What they could have done that really would have awakened me, and like it would have been a slap across the face, and I would have sat up in my chair going, "What?" Is if they had the balls to knock off one of these characters, then I would have been like, Scream, you just showed me something I wasn't expecting.
Yep.
But they didn't do that, and to me, I agree with Duncan that the hospital scene. So many times in horror films, we get that after scene in the hospital, and it just ruins it for me. Like it's like any time you go to the hospital, I'm like, Jesus, and it's a trope that's used quite a bit. It's like, oh, you think the movie's over, but no, it follows us to the hospital. More shit's gonna happen, and I never like it. It never turns out well.
You didn't like it in Friday the 13th Part 5?
Tommy Jarvis is the new Jason.
No, not even 5. I love 5, but not even in that. It doesn't, to me, it just never works. And then in this one, I felt like we already did this. We don't need to be here doing more stuff. It's just like, we don't need to do more stuff. Kill Sydney. Kill her. Be done with that. And give us a real shocking ending. Give us something that Scream people are not going to see coming, and that is you knocking off Sydney, because that would have been huge. But they can't knock her off because then she can't come back.
Yeah, well, I think the shame of it is that it was supposed to be a remake. It's supposed to be a reboot within the original series, and the best way to do that is to kill off the main character, and then the next one, you could even have Dewey as the sheriff, and it would still be, it would feel like a fresh start because Sid's gone.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Obviously, it would have been a great idea, but they just, like Dan said, they wanted to tidy up the story. Let's wrap up this one. Maybe they just, somebody said during the shooting or whatever, they said, we're not going to finance the next 2. I don't know if we're going to do another trilogy. You might want to just clean this up at the end of this one. And, because I'm not, don't do something that you're leaving a cliffhanger or banking on 2 more being made, because I don't know if we're doing this. That might have happened. We don't really know. So, it is what it is, but I'm not gonna, I agree, I'm Team Jill all the way, man, as terrible as that sounds, but, because, the team thing that I'm throwing in. But the fact is, I would have loved that ending, that Jill was the winner of this, but I thought the whole movie was just so solid that I'm not gonna say that it's the worst Scream because of that, or the ending killed it or anything.
No.
It just didn't. 15 minutes at the end, which wasn't that bad. I mean, except that we didn't get what we wanted. It's just not killing the movie for me. So I don't know. It is what it is. But
no, but I think it would have been a lot stronger if they'd had the balls to do something that no one was expecting.
Right.
And can I say this too? They fucked up Williamson, dude. He does not want to do any more Screams now. He's fucking pissed, and I don't blame him, dude. But he's basically not going to write another Scream movie because of that shit. Because
that means that the franchise is ruined then, because you saw what happens when he didn't write one of the entries. It fucked.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Duncan. Sorry.
No. What I was going to say is, I think I came back to this film, like I said at the start. I watched it in the cinema when it came out. I've revisited it 3 years on, and what I've taken away from watching it this time through, and the ending does annoy me, but I forgot how, for one, how menacing this film is compared to the other one. I think this one, it holds up surprisingly well. In terms of how violent it is, all the messages were still within a time period where social networking like Facebook and webcams, that's all still relevant and prevalent in our lives just now. So that whole side of things holds up really fucking good in the film. I forgot how fun this film is. It is a whole hell of a lot of fun. And I think that's first and foremost from a Scream film, especially this far into the franchise. That's what you want. You want it to deliver fun and, blood and guts and scares and all the rest. And this film does do that. And like I say, I've got problems with how they finished it. But even if you take it as a whole product, the hour and 50 minutes it was on, minus 15 minutes of that, I like this movie. I really like this movie. I'm behind it. I enjoy where it goes. There are a couple of things that, kind of go a wee bit wonky in places, and, there's obvious. Yeah, but, for the most part, it's a solid fucking film. And it is a shame that the only way they can progress Scream now is through a MTV television series, which is not going to have the same impact. I would love to see where they could have, where they could take it on the big screen further, because, I mean, maybe not even necessarily with Wes Craven, just taking it in a direction. But, yeah, I think that's the first and foremost thing that I've got to say is I really fucking enjoyed this film watching back. And I watched it just before podcasting, and I was I was like, I was gutted that I didn't have any popcorn to eat because that's a total popcorn horror movie. It's fucking brilliant.
When we were watching Scream 2, when I was watching it for this show, I actually stopped the beginning as they were walking into the theater and got up and made popcorn.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't watch this without popcorn, especially because they're eating popcorn in the movie. I made it. No, I didn't make
Pop.
No, I didn't make Jiffy Pop, but I do make my popcorn on the stove. I hate microwave popcorn.
You know what we should do? Every time we watch Scream, we should make it the way she does with that old thing, that Jiffy Pop.
I actually, until recently, I had some of those. I got them in my Christmas stocking. But I don't, I hate microwave popcorn. I don't like it at all. So I always make it on the stove. But I have a old-fashioned, it's an aluminum popcorn popper that you put the oil in the bottom and then you put the popcorn layer and then you just shake it over the stove and it's popcorn.
Hey, Jamie, you want some popcorn? Makes your mouth go pop, 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 pop.
Pop, pop, pop.
All right, well, we got to wrap this up. This is a 3-hour show already. So, I don't even know when this is going out.
I do have a bit of trivia about this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This
Get the fuck out of here. This
entry was filmed in Michigan, and all of the newscasters that you see, like reporting throughout
real.
Are local news people from Michigan.
Really? Except for Nancy O'Dell, who is in pretty much every Scream, and she hasn't been relevant probably since the last, Scream 2, probably.
Yeah, but like all the local newscasters are actual local newscasters from Michigan.
Really? Cool.
All right, well, let's rate this quickly. So first, Dan, how do you rate this from Netflix? 5 out of 5 on an enjoyment level. How do you rate this out of 5?
I gotta be honest with you, dude. Besides the ending and me not liking it, dude, I fucking love this movie.
All right, so that's 5 out of 5. Jamie, how do you rate this on enjoyment level? 5 out of 5.
3.5.
3.5?
3.5.
How about technically?
7.
All right, Duncan, how do you know how we do ratings?
Yeah, I do Netflix on on my show. So, so I would say this is probably, from watching it again tonight, I would say it's a 4. I really like this film.
And how about technically, what do you think this movie is from 1 to 10?
Technically, I would probably side with Jamie on a 7. I think the aspects, the 3 points would knock off is probably to do with the goofy comedy, which doesn't really fit within the film. Some of the inconsistencies in terms of characters are injured but aren't injured for some reason, and like the last 15 minutes. So I would give it a 7. I think it's revisiting it's a lot stronger than I remember it at the cinema. I remember walking at the cinema and having a lot of fucking like geek rants online about it.
That happens the first watch, yeah.
Yeah, kind of coming back to it, I've appreciated it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
This time, I was like taking notes and stuff, and I said I was more into the notes than I was about the movie. And what happened, man? Like almost instantly, within 20 minutes, I was so lost in the movie.
Notes.
I couldn't believe. Yeah, I was like, notes became secondary. So that was important to me, and that really affects this rating. So I'm going to rate this a 4.5 out of 5. I think.
What?
Yeah, the only thing I would have liked better is if Jill survived, obviously, and Nev died, and that would have been my perfect movie, but that didn't happen. The comedy is what it is. The comedy is going to lose a little bit in technically, so a technical rating, I would say this is like a 8 out of 10. Because of the jokes. I don't do jokes like that. And everything else was done so well. I love the brutality, all that kind of stuff. And the ending, I mean, at least it was at least not uninteresting. It wasn't like, it was whatever. It wasn't what I wanted, but whatever. So it's an 8 out of 10. So.
How would you guys rank the series?
Well, I was going to do that when we come back from break.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, that's how we normally do it, but...
No, forget it, Alex.
Okay, so we'll be right back. We're going to wrap things up for the Scream retrospective in a minute.
This is Mr. Skin from MrSkin.com with all the skinfo from the latest movies. Skintastically nude in theaters, Scarlett Johansson finally reveals what's under her clothes in the sci-fi thriller Under the Skin. As a sexually voracious space alien, Scarlett bears her massive Milky Ways, full moon, and even some shadowy surface of Venus. Under the Skin will make both your heads spin.
This is the Mr. Skin Minute.
Nude on Blu-ray, it's the 1982 slasher bash Slumber Party Massacre. Brink Stevens will bring you to the brink of ecstasy as she gets all sudsy in the shower with Deborah DeLiso and Michelle Michaels as they show off for some peeping toms. Slumber Party Massacre has sleeping bags and fun bags.
Ooh.
Returning to HBO on April 6th, it's all the Chesteros of Westeros on Game of Thrones. It was a game of moans last season with Emilia Clarke as the Varys Targaryen and Carice Van Houten's bewitching TNA, and we're expecting more of the same this time around. Winter is coming in your pants.
MrSkin.com. Fast forwarding to the good parts.
All right, guys, we've come to the end. It's time to leave Woodsboro. It was a long journey, an interesting third part of our journey, but okay. And so now we're at the end. We went through everything and gave the lowdown. So it's time to wrap it up and basically rank the franchise. Which one is the best, second best, third best, and fourth best? Let's see. Jamie, why don't you go first?
I knew it!
Yeah, so you have to be on your toes.
This is my order. Is everyone sitting down?
I'm actually standing. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay.
I got my dick in my hand.
Number one. Right? Part 3.
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm kidding. Okay.
It's not April Fool's. It's April 5th.
Don't fuck around.
And you know what? This isn't going to mesh completely with my ratings, but I stand by this. 1, 4, 2, 3.
Okay. That sounds legit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, that's what mine is.
That's what mine is.
Now, and for that, I'm going strictly on enjoyment while I'm watching the film. And the brutality of the fourth film really gives it a lot of points with me. I mean, like the bloodshed just sort of amps it up there. So, there you go.
You know what's interesting? As you watch part 4, then you think back to 2 in your head, and you get the flashes of the people in it and the scenes in it. Part 2, looking at it that way, it seems like some shit extension of part 1 and just dragging something out, and it's not fresh and original and new and cutting edge and interesting. And
Scream Goes to College is what
it's kind of, yeah, and it's kind of bland, you know. And
bland, right? It's fucking boring. It's like shit compared to like when you think of it that way, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't like 2 anymore. Like, I could literally go through my life watching 1 and 4 and I'm done with it.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree, man. I liked Scream 2 when it came out, but I've gotten over it. And in ranking the series, dude, it definitely is not one of the best ones at all. No. And I like a lot of it, dude. I like a lot. We talked about Scream 2. I really do like that film. But you look at this one, dude, it fucking beats the shit out of 2, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. Character-wise.
I don't think it beats the shit out of it, but I think it just noses ahead. But for me, that's due to the bloodshed.
I think it's far beyond.
I think it beats the shit out of it. No, but the thing is, with Scream 2 though, it's okay. There are sequences in Scream 2, like when she's chasing Gale through the fucking thing, and obviously the opening scene, like you said, when you went and got popcorn. There's a lot of good scenes, but there's also a lot of bullshit scenes that don't really add up. Like especially when you guys started talking about the like how did they get the footage and how did they know how to load it up and shit. And I started thinking about all that too, and I think everything, all at once kind of just basically made me just kind of not hate on the
film.
Turn
you off.
But, I think it got put in its place when 4 came out. I mean, 2 is fucking, if they just made 1 through 3, it would go 1, 2, 3. But they made 4, so 4 supersedes 2. Sorry, it's better.
Yeah. Duncan, how do you rank this?
Surprisingly, exactly the same. And
when you're right, you're right.
Yeah, right up till, in fact, even 10 minutes into Scream 4, I was having a Facebook conversation with my former co-host, who had basically said, no doubt the show you're going to be recording is basically just going to be a show where you shit on the fourth one. And I was like, no, I think the fourth one's an enjoyable film and whatnot, but my order was 1, 2, 4, 3. And I said that at the start. I think even when Alex posted it on your page when you were going to do it, that's the order I put them in. But I mean, I think it's probably the most enjoyable watch that you'll get outside of the first one, which I think, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, could possibly be one of the finest slashers ever made. And I think 4 seems to catch the spirit of that and, kind of amps up the gore. To me, it's almost the complete spiritual sequel to the first one, in that it takes what happens in the first one and gives you everything they say, like Randy's rules, the bloodshed's going to be more, there's going to be more bodies or whatnot.
Yeah, it actually happened this time, because in part 2 it didn't even happen.
They don't really go as far, you don't get as much of that. So it is almost like the spiritual sequel. So I think if you do it in terms of enjoyment and what ones hold up, and like I say, 4 holds up really fucking good just because it's still relevant. So yeah, I think there's no way I could go with my original numbering system, so I have to join these, I think. So that's 1, 4, 3, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I mean, going in, I was going to put 4 above 3 just because 3 was so fucking shitty. Right. So it just sort of landed there by default.
Right.
But after watching it this time, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it really is more fun in spirit and in reality than the second one, which I still think is a solid sequel, as far as sequels and franchises go. But after watching this again, I'm like, yeah, it really is just kind of bland. It's like it's like the movie my grandmother made.
Yeah, that's what
compared to this, So I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased that we did this and complete. If you go back to when we covered these films on Devour, it is completely different. Like my
second review.
It was I mean my view of this film is way different, and but I'm glad that I gave it another day in court and actually came out the other end enjoying this film, because I really think it deserves that. So, and I concede I was wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean it's clear to all of us, and I don't know. I mean, I never saw 100% everybody ranking something the same way, so I think we were onto something here. It's one of the most accurate things you could say about Scream 2 is that it just seems really dated now. I mean, and not in a good way. Not like the 80s were dated and it's like great and charming. Like this is dated like, it's just another 90s sequel. And, I don't know, when you're watching it, it feels differently, but after you watch this, it just feels really dated.
I think it's because they had more time with this too. They had 10 years, dude, to think about this and let the script develop. And within the terms of how the story goes too, you can pick the story up 10 years later after Scream 3, and that gives you a lot of leeway. Now, we've talked about Scream 2 and how it fucking started production.
Maybe that was rushed.
It was too rushed, dude. I mean, that's what I think it is. I mean, if you look at both films, I mean, one fucking made 10 years later, it's fucking awesome. One made fucking 10 minutes later. I mean, come on,
Yeah, I think it's clear what's going on here. So, well, hey, thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed the Scream retrospective. It was fun going through Woodsboro and then wherever the hell they went in the second movie, and then wherever the fuck we were in the third one.
Dude, I've been wanting to fucking do this series since day one too. So thank you guys. Fucking, I've been waiting. I've been waiting to do this basically since we started, so... Yeah.
2 years. He's been waiting 2 years for this show. And now it's over. Now he'll never get it again.
I've been patiently waiting for a track... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so Duncan, thanks for helping us close this out, man. You were awesome. You made some great observations that I probably would have never occurred to me, or anybody.
I had to step my game up. Big time. This is like the A-leagues of the fucking podcast for me. You guys are at the top of the tree. So I had to try and bring it with me. But thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm a massive fan of the Skeleton Crew, and it's an absolute honour and pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you,
Thank
Duncan.
you, Duncan.
Duncan is the man. Check out Podcast Under the Stairs, too. It's awesome. And then Rock and Real Reviews, which is his music thing, correct?
Yes, it is.
Nice, dude. But this motherfucker's killing it everywhere.
And happy birthday, by the way. I will record something formal for your show, but happy birthday, guys. Congratulations on 2 years.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on for this one and celebrating it with us.
And thank you, everybody, for fucking, actually listening to part 4 after 3.
Yeah, right? I was saying, I don't know where the fuck we were in part 3, where that took place. I just want to be wherever the hell Dan was.
Yeah. I think if people rate the retro, they're probably going to put them in the same order that we put the movies.
Yeah, like, we were brutal to part 2, and 3 was just a nightmare for everybody, I think, involved, watching, listening, being on it, whatever. And I think, yeah, it's exactly the same. Yep. So, there you go. So, again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Duncan. This is Alex for Dan and Jamie and Duncan. This is the Skeleton Crew, and we will see you with something. We have really no idea what's next, but just take this in for a while. Maybe we'll take a week off. I don't know. But we'll be back.
I'll be right back. I had to. Sorry. I'm sorry.